In the previous part, Xoang was discharged from the hospital, taken to the airport by Zhang and Minhee. Now, they have become famous on social media. Everyone who sees them talks about them. Wow, is that Minhee and Xoang? They're the couple who live streamed from a deserted island. Xoang, when will you respond to Minhee's confession? Everyone felt awkward and didn't reply. Instead, they put on hats to disguise themselves and walked inside. After entering the airport, they sat together waiting for check-in. This is the price to pay. I really didn't expect it to turn out like this. I regret it so much. A girl like me, who is about to get engaged, is now caught up in romantic rumors. What if I end up single again? Jiang, after thinking for a while, said, "How about you join me with that silly pig?" That made Xoang widen his eyes in surprise, while Minhee only sighed. What kind of joke is that? This blockhead hogged 2 sisters already. You should consider yourself lucky for several lifetimes. Now, you want to pull me into this as well? Don't joke like that again, okay? Jiang was about to say, I was serious, when the PA system cut her off. Flight MH370 is ready for departure. Please proceed to board. Minhee immediately stood up. Let's go, we're about to take off. She hurried off first. Jiang glanced at Xoang's reaction, but saw his confused face. She stood up as well. Let's go too. She ran after Minhee, leaving Xoang sighing in awkwardness. Soon, the flight took off and landed successfully. The 3 of them walked out of the airport carrying their luggage. Minhee and Jiang walked ahead while Xoang followed behind, silently observing their emotions after everything that had happened. Suddenly, there was a loud call. Minhee. Jiang jumped towards Minhee like a frog, hugging her tightly. Let go, you're suffocating me. I'm still not fully recovered, I can't carry you. Jiang let go of Minhee, took off her glasses, and stuck out her tongue teasingly. She then whispered to Minhee, have you told her yet? Let's talk about it at home later. Jiang smiled and said okay, then looked at Xoang, who was injured. Oh, you made us worry to death. I'm not going to pay any attention to you anymore. Let's go eat. Now that we're back home, we should relax. After eating, we can go to the hot springs. I've planned everything already. Xoang, after being ignored, looked dismayed. Hey, what about me? The consequences of making women worry are terrible. A different voice spoke up. It was Xoang. Oh, why are you here? Of course, I'm here to pick up my dear cousin. Xoang was startled by her expression. Whenever she's gentle like this, it's definitely not a good sign. Do you really think of me that way? Xoang scratched his head, unsure of how to respond. Xoang came closer and whispered, you pretended to fall during the live stream, didn't you? And that confession scene in the middle of the disaster wasn't scripted either, right? Xoang blushed. That was just a script the boss came up with on the spot. Since when did Minhee act so well? That was a truly moving and heartfelt performance. Teased once again, Xoang ran away. They've left us behind. Hurry up. Xoang sighed helplessly at her silly cousin and soon everyone got into the car to head back. The atmosphere in the car was very quiet, making Jiang uncomfortable. Why isn't anyone saying anything? Minhee, say something. Today, let's not celebrate yet. Everyone should go home and rest first. Tomorrow, my company and your company will host a celebration party together. Merge. Your company is merging with mine. Didn't you refuse the merger before, which is why we fought? Yes, we fought a beautiful battle. They originally wanted to buy my company at a low price, but things have changed now. Not only me and my father but Xoang, and everyone else will get bonuses too. Xoang's efforts have finally been rewarded. Really? So, we don't have to work anymore? That's great, I'm benefiting from this too. I have one more piece of news. Minhee's voice suddenly turned a bit sad. After the merger celebration, there will be an engagement party for me and the CEO Troms of your group. This shocked everyone. Xoang unconsciously hit the brake, causing the car to come to a sudden stop in the middle of the road. Jiang panicked. What did you just say? The cars behind honked loudly, shouting angrily. Why are you stopping in the middle of the road? Do you want to die? Inside the car, Xuanxing shouted, Hey, why did you stop all of a sudden? Wait a second. The car started moving again. After everyone calmed down a bit, Jiang turned to Minhee. No way, Minhee, could it be? Minhee hurriedly covered Jiang's mouth. Don't say anything. I've been single for so long. Living on that deserted island made me suddenly want to fall in love. He's not a bad choice. So Minhee forced herself to stay strong. Minhee, control yourself. You have to hold it together, don't cry. Then, Minhee was taken back to her house. As soon as she entered, her mother was already waiting. Her father was also sitting, distracted, reading the newspaper. You're back. Dad, please contact the Truong's family, I want to schedule a meeting. This surprised Minhee's parents. What? Finally, Minhee, you've come to your senses. Are you sure? I don't want to be single forever, Dad. Now that I've won, I should spend some time thinking about my own life. This is good for both the company and me. Sometimes, an engagement isn't about intense emotions. Feelings grow over time. Okay, I'll arrange it for you. Yes, as soon as possible, Dad. Preferably tomorrow. Minhee, are you sure? This isn't a game. I'm tired, I'm going to take a bath. Meanwhile, at Xuanxiang's house, Jiang and another girl had already gone into the bathroom. Isn't it your turn to bathe first? The two girls casually didn't answer, taking off their clothes. Or you can come and bathe with us, brother. They won't mind. Suddenly, Xoang appeared and added, Just don't be too loud, and I won't care. Xuanxiang sighed. You girls go ahead and bathe first. Inside, the two sisters Jiang had already sat in the bath. What's going on, sis? Why so sudden? Did you tell Minhee yet? Just as I opened my mouth, she suddenly started talking like that. I've tried to tell her many times, but she keeps stopping me. I think she's afraid the live stream might make us misunderstand, so she said it. No, Minhee doesn't really love CEO Truong's. Given her personality, forcing herself like that won't bring her happiness. That's true, but it seems she's made her decision. After the party, she's going to get engaged to CEO Truong's. We can't let her make such a foolish decision. We have to stop her, or she'll suffer for the rest of her life, you know? But how? I don't know yet either. Let's think together. Meanwhile, outside, Xuanxiang lay tiredly on the couch. Suddenly, Xoang jumped up and sat on his stomach. Are you planning to assassinate your cousin? Get up once in a while. What was it like surviving on a deserted island? No, there's no difference at all. Ha, you've always been terrible at lying. Fine, even if you're lying, there are some things that even when you know them, it's better to pretend you don't. You mean you know what I should do? Let me think. If one day you realize something, you'll feel a fiery, passionate love for someone. And that person might affect your inner self, making you feel like you're drowning in love. If you think like that, you'll suddenly feel your heart change, able to hold two people. Maybe you'll realize you can hold even more. And from there, you'll think of yourself as shameless. But even if you don't think that way, the images of those people and everything that's happened will keep tormenting your mind. If you can't suppress those thoughts, you won't be able to control your emotions, and you'll fall into a state of fear, losing control. That's how psychological crises develop, right? Xuanxiang could only lie silently, listening to Xoang's analysis. I think this way. The inner self will carry out a moral evaluation, feeling that such emotions are shameful, and whatever you do will make others suffer. If you pretend you don't know, at least you can hope that the pain can be digested slowly, right? Xuanxiang, feeling that Xoang understood him too well, exclaimed, You really are a demon. Haven't you thought of a third option? What did you say? I mean, even if things don't go well, they might still agree, and you'll be the only fool suffering. What? Xuanxiang was startled and stood up, nearly causing their lips to touch. I didn't mean to. What were you thinking just now? Xuanxiang grabbed his cousin's legs and lifted her. Are you looking for a place to confess your feelings now? Well, it's not impossible, but I charge high fees, you know. Xuanxiang threw her back onto the couch and walked into his room. Was I too hasty? Did I push him too hard? In his room, Xuanxiang leaned against the door, feeling helpless. His left brain was thinking of Minhee on the deserted island, his right brain of the two Zhang sisters, and his middle brain of Xoang's words. Feeling defeated, he lay on the bed and buried his head in the pillow, lost in thought. Meanwhile, at Minhee's house, she was looking at the shirt she had worn on the island, hugging it and crying into the night. The next day, at Minhee's company, people were setting off fireworks, celebrating the success of the live stream. "Congratulations, boss! Congratulations, big boss!" The two glanced at each other, then turned their heads in opposite directions. "Boss, big boss, what's going on? I get it now. It must be that the boss and the big boss haven't completely won yet. Even though our popularity didn't last as long as theirs, in terms of the highest data and trending topics, we definitely won. So the result is that we won, right?" That's true. With such hot topics as the mountain climbing incident and the confession, we thought the boss and the big boss would have some kind of counterattack. Who would have thought they'd come up with such an amazing strategy? Yes, everyone knows about the company merger already, right? We'll still handle our independent projects at the new company. And most importantly, everyone will still get their bonuses. That's fantastic. Now, let's prepare to celebrate the partnership. But the interactive business can't last too long. Endorsements, representations, and activities. All of it needs to be included. Yes, boss. Hey, Xoang, come choose clothes with me. What, me? I have a suit for the celebration. You're one of the main characters too, so you need to dress up and overshadow the competition. Got it? Okay, boss. Minhee saw Xoang's clueless expression and couldn't help but laugh, but she quickly restrained herself and turned to leave. "Let's go." Then the two left the company. Suddenly, a secretary ran up. "CEO, the chairman wants to see you for a moment. We have something to do. We'll talk when I return." But the chairman said it's very important. "Tell the chairman I'm busy and will speak to him when I get back." Unexpectedly, Minhee's father appeared. "Minhee, is this how you act when your father calls?" He looked at his daughter with a loving gaze. "Who was it that said we shouldn't call each other father and daughter at the company? I just have a few words, it'll be quick." Hearing this, Minhee walked towards the chairman. "Let's go, what is it you want to say, Dad?" "Xoang, wait for me by the car. I'll be right there." "Got it, boss. See you later, chairman." Soon, Minhee stood in the chairman's office. "What is it, Dad? Please get to the point. I have work to do." "Is this how you talk to your father? Are you yelling at me?" "Why would I yell at you? The company has been revived. Not only have we retained shares, but we've also made huge profits. What more could you want? I'm dissatisfied with the future happiness of my daughter." The chairman's words made Minhee stop short. The merging of two major corporations reduces business risks, and the man you're set to marry is both handsome and smart. A son-in-law like that, and you're still not satisfied? The chairman suddenly sighed and sat down. "Minhee, since you were little, I've rarely been by your side. So, you've hardly ever shared your thoughts with me, and I've always felt guilty about that. I thought that by giving you the best of everything, I could make up for it." "What are you talking about, Dad? I feel fine right now. But why are you suddenly saying this at work? So the one you love is that kid Xoang, isn't it?" Minhee hesitated. "Dad, what are you talking about? I'm about to get engaged. I need to go prepare for tomorrow's company celebration." After saying that, Minhee quickly left the room. "If you truly love him, I'll help you." "Don't say that, Dad. He's the boyfriend of my best friend." With that, she opened the door and left. At the same time, down in the garage, Xoang was sitting in his BMW with the air conditioning on full blast, thinking about what Xoang had said to him. "What do you think about Minhee? I've admired her since university because she always achieved incredible things but was never arrogant about it. She's an excellent teammate. Working with her, even when my body is tired, my spirit is always refreshed. I heard you helped block a lot of suitors for Minhee during university. Why was that?" "Of course, because the boss didn't like them, and they kept bothering her. I was both her employee and her comrade. Doing that was perfectly normal. I remember in your first year, you even went out of your way to introduce a boyfriend to me. Why do you have double standards?" "That was all suggested by Black Crow. She wanted to save me from suffering. Suddenly, a confession. I was Minhee's black crow on the deserted island. Xoang could only tremble, angry at himself. Suddenly, Minhee opened the car door. Let's go. Xoang just stared at her. Minhee had already buckled her seatbelt, but Xoang was still dazed, so she had to remind him again. Let's go. Oh, right, let's go. What are you doing? Driving, of course. If you don't shift gears, how is the car going to move? Oh, right, I forgot. After a moment, the car finally left the company's underground garage. It sped along the main road at 100 km/h. Minhee rolled down the window, breathing in some fresh air. Xoang thought for a while before breaking the silence. Something wrong? You seem quiet. Xoang stammered. Why? Why didn't you tell me you were Black Crow? Why would I need to tell you? Oh, of course, under normal circumstances, anyone would mention something like that. Minhee turned toward the window, shedding a few tears. And you still didn't recognize me. Why didn't you realize it was me? I'm used to your bold tactics, but you were using signals back then, so I wasn't sure. Then why didn't you ask me? I wanted to ask, but I didn't dare. I wish. Suddenly, Minhee shouted, "Red light!" Xoang immediately slammed on the brakes, bringing the car to a sudden stop. You blockhead! What's wrong with you? You almost ran a red light. Sorry, boss, I got distracted. You got distracted while driving? That's not like you at all. What's on your mind? You what? Spit it out, Xoang. Just as he was about to say something, the sound of car horns blared. It's green now. Are you colorblind or what? Xoang quickly resumed driving, and the atmosphere fell back into silence. Before long, they arrived at a clothing store. We prepared the designs you requested, miss. Please come in and choose. You even had designs prepared? Isn't this a bit over the top? Tomorrow's celebration will have journalists attending. You're the leading man on our side. We can't afford to look shabby. We need to exude confidence, not only in business but also in spirit. Do you understand? Xoang responded firmly, yes, understood. Good, come on in. Xoang was then dressed in a golden outfit. Mr. Xoang, this suit suits you perfectly. Whoever had it made for you really knows your style. Really? Who gave you my measurements? I don't know. I just know the administrative department sent them over. Minhee's voice rang out, are you done? Come here and let me take a look. Xoang turned toward the voice, his eyes widening. In front of him stood Minhee in a stunning red dress, looking gorgeous. Beautiful. You're more beautiful than any movie star in China. Hearing this, Minhee smiled. Is that so? Of course. I did a good job picking out the design and size, didn't I? Even someone as stiff as you looks good in this. As Minhee adjusted his outfit, Xoang quickly turned away. Xoang, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? I haven't finished fixing it yet. It's already perfect. Suddenly, Minhee rested her head against Xoang's back, leaving him frozen for 5 seconds. Hey, boss. Tomorrow we'll show up like this together, right? Then we'll announce our victory, won't we? Xoang awkwardly responded, yes. You two are the stars of tomorrow. Would you like to take a commemorative photo now? Sure, take it with my phone. Yes, of course. The store assistant took Minhee's phone and opened the camera. Minhee grabbed Xoang's arm, pulling him to pose for the photo. A whole series of photos were taken. Pose 1, Pose 2, Pose 3, up to Pose N. Afterward, the two changed back into their regular clothes. Minhee sat down and looked through the photos they had taken. Aren't you going to let me see them? Nope, you're not seeing them. Have you packed everything? All set, boss. Then let's go. I'm giving you the rest of the day off to prepare. Go on. Thank you, boss. Minhee quickly turned away, looking at the photos with tears in her eyes. Xoang soon returned home. As he opened the door, he was greeted by the sight of both Zhang sisters changing clothes. Why didn't you go to work today? I'm busy preparing for tomorrow's party. We both want to attend. You're both coming? Of course, tomorrow is the celebration for you and Minhee. We don't want to miss it. Aren't you worried someone might recognize you? Remember what happened at the shopping mall last time? It's this little rascal's fault. But no one found out, right? It's been so long, and you're still bringing that up? Seeing that Jiang was upset, Xuanxing stepped forward and hugged both of them. That incident made me realize just how stupid I was and how much you both had to suffer because of me. Both of them rested their heads on his shoulders. But thanks to that, we don't feel wronged anymore. I promise I won't make you feel sad again. As the three of them were sharing a tender moment, the door suddenly opened from the outside. Xuanxing quickly let go of them. Xoang walked in and sarcastically remarked, "Did I come home too early? The smell of lust is so strong in here. Were you about to have some fun?" All three of them turned red with embarrassment. "What nonsense are you talking about? I'm tired, I'm going to bed." With that, Xuanxing left, leaving the two sisters behind. Jiang stood awkwardly in front of Xoang. "The two of you dressed like that, were you planning something unspeakable?" "No, we were just trying on clothes for tomorrow's party." After saying that, the two of them rushed back to their secret base. Xoang let out a sigh, went to the fridge, grabbed a beer, and gulped it down. Then she sighed again. "They're the main characters, and I'm just an extra." The two Jiang sisters ran into the room to confide. "Sis, today, did you test Director Truong's attitude toward Minhee?" "Yes, he was so cold it was scary. He's like a typical domineering CEO. Marriage is just a task for him to fulfill the family mission." "If that's the case, how could Minhee be happy marrying him?" "Yeah, I think so too. Tomorrow is their last chance to announce the engagement. If they do, it's all over. We must get Minhee to join us. But do you think Minhee will agree? I know Minhee is afraid we'll be jealous, which is why she hurriedly mentioned the engagement." Jiang suddenly huffed, her cheeks puffed. "I've got it. Let's just tell Minhee straight. If she doesn't comply, we'll crash her engagement party." "You're so mischievous, little sis. So if she does what we want, the engagement is ruined, and if she doesn't, the party's still crashed. How's she supposed to choose? A girl with high self-esteem who cares about us so much. If we give her an escape route, she'll flee. We need to cut off all of her options. Will that affect Minhee and the company? What about everyone's work? Why worry about all that? You stress too much. Let's deal with it as it comes. At worst, we disband the company and start over. The four of us will definitely dominate the market." Jiang laughed at her sister's cuteness. "So, what's the plan for tomorrow?" "I've thought it through. It might be a bit dangerous. Tomorrow, you deal with the outside first. When Minhee announces her engagement, lure her somewhere private, and I'll talk to her directly." "All right, sounds good. Let's do it that way tomorrow. Tonight, let's cuddle up with our pig and sleep." "Okay, but he's just gotten home, and he's really weak. Don't mess with him too much." "But it's been so long. I miss him." "Don't you miss him too?" Jiang suddenly paused and said, "I do miss him, but we shouldn't wear him out." "Haha, you like it too, but you're pretending. How about we give him a massage to lift his spirits?" Meanwhile, in the other room, Xuanxing was lying face down on the bed, his mind filled with thoughts of Minhee, from the clothing store to their time on the deserted island, and now the news of her engagement to that CEO. Suddenly, Jiang opened the door. "Pig, are you asleep?" "Not yet." "Good. We're coming in." The two Jiang sisters hurried into the room, holding hands affectionately, which made him feel a bit uneasy. What are you two planning to do?" They jumped onto the bed, each grabbing one end of Xuanxing. One held his head, the other his feet. "Pig, you've worked too hard. Let us give you a massage." The two Jiang sisters exchanged hungry glances toward Xuanxing before pouncing on him, massaging vigorously. Hey, it tickles. Let go. I can't take it anymore." "No squirming. This is your punishment." Okay. But a minute later, he couldn't help but shout, Stop squeezing me. It tickles too much. All right, we won't mess with you anymore." They then started giving him a proper massage. As they worked, Xuaxiang's mind drifted off again. You lucky bastard, Xuaxiang. Having two sisters love you like this is the best thing that's ever happened to you, and yet you're still thinking about other things. Meanwhile, back at Minhee's house, she was just getting out of the bath, reflecting on her time with Xuaxiang on the island. Suddenly, her mother called out, "Minhee, are you done with your bath?" "Yes, Mom." "What is it?" "I want to talk to you about something." "Can I come in?" Minhee quickly turned off her phone screen. "Yes, come in, Mom." Her mother opened the door and entered. "Please sit down, Mom." After sitting, Minhee asked, "What's going on, Mom?" Her mother suddenly noticed a few scratches on Minhee's body. "You silly girl, why did you have to go to that deserted island instead of working at home? Look at these bruises. Are they still painful?" "I'm perfectly fine now, Mom. These little scratches are nothing. Your skin is so fair and smooth. If you get scars, it'll be such a shame." "Mom, it's 2024. Who cares about that anymore? What did you want to talk about? Is it something Dad mentioned? Your father just cares about you, that's all. You're our only daughter. He feels guilty for being so busy and not being able to take care of you." "Dad? Guilty? At the company, Dad's words are law, but when it comes to me, he's always so careful, afraid of making me angry." "You've been raised well, Minhee. You lack for nothing. Your father has no reason to feel guilty. He's just like me, stubborn on the outside, soft-hearted on the inside." "All right, enough chit-chat. Tell me the truth, Minhee. Do you really love Xuaxiang?" Minhee gave a one-word answer. "Yes." "How much?" "So much that I can't escape. So much that I want to be with him for the rest of my life. So much that, even if you hadn't asked, I would have confessed everything." "You silly girl. Don't cry, don't cry. You've tried so hard to keep your distance from him, but you just can't help it, can you? You're exhausted, aren't you?" "Yes, Mom, I'm so tired. I'm so heartbroken." "Cry all you want. Let it all out. I'm here for you." Minhee cried for a long time, and her mother helped her to bed. "The last time we slept together was when you were a little girl. Since you started first grade, your father and I were always so busy with work, and you often had to sleep alone. I'm truly sorry, Minhee. When I was little, I did resent you and Dad for that. But after starting a business with Xuaxiang, I understood why you had to work so hard. If you didn't, you'd get trampled on by others at any moment. I don't just not resent you anymore, I love you both even more because you worked so tirelessly to build your success. Now I feel so lucky to have met him and Zhang too. Minhee, don't go through with the engagement. I'll help you sort things out. Xuaxiang is a good man. He's a bit dense, but he'd make a wonderful husband." Minhee suddenly sat up. "No, Mother, absolutely not. Why did you ask Zhang to help me? I would even kneel if necessary. I hardly have any friends, and I don't want many. Zhang is my best friend, and I never want to lose her. If I lose her, what will I do? I really want to marry someone I don't love and then live together for a lifetime. That way, in the future, we can still hang out like before, go shopping, chat, start a career, and work together. This is the best way I can think of, but it's too unfair to me. Please don't say anything more. Besides, the company will merge, and the operations could also develop further. From a business perspective, there's no deal more profitable than this." "You silly girl. Can emotions be measured with money? Don't think you can deceive me or yourself by making up this reason. When I hadn't married your father, many people were pursuing me. Your father had nothing to his name, yet just because of his naivety, I fell for him." That Minhee lay down on her mother's lap. It felt so good. So this is the feeling of resting one's head on the thigh. "Mother, you are so wonderful." She didn't know what else to say, just gently caressing and comforting her daughter. Soon, time flew to the next morning. Zhang and Xuaxiang had finished getting dressed, preparing to go to the company. "Have fun at home. Goodbye, you two, be careful. Ah, it seems today will be quite spectacular." As for Minhee, she was admiring herself in the mirror, then changed into another outfit, added a bit of lipstick to look fresh, and encouraged herself with a smile. Transitioning to Minhee's company, Everyone had gathered. Today, we are the main characters. We must suppress the opponent's momentum. Is everyone ready? Not ready yet. We can't let the opponent's momentum overpower us. Okay, let's go. Everyone in the hall shouted in unison. At this moment, in a dark room, a hacker was sitting in front of his laptop, his hands typing like playing the piano. On the screen was a photo of two Jiang. This hot news is that the twin sisters are posing as one person, doing the same job. However, upon reflecting on previous events, it's shocking. Meanwhile, at the company, Jiang was organizing the press conference. The two chairpersons were already seated at the work table, and Minhee's side approached with great momentum. CEO Truongs stood up to greet Minhee. Can we talk privately for a moment? Is there something between us that needs to be discussed privately? Do you think our engagement is a public matter? Isn't it a public matter? Before the congratulatory party begins, can we discuss this privately? All right, let's go over here. Very quickly, the two sat facing each other. Speak, do you regret anything? Are you not happy? CEO Truongs took a sip of coffee and said, you have to marry someone you don't love. Doesn't that hurt? Minhee merely pursed her lips and smirked. If you've said it directly, then I won't beat around the bush anymore. To reassure both families, I'll pretend to be happy as if nothing is wrong. I truly admire Xoang. What do you mean by that? CEO Truongs placed his coffee cup down heavily. 3 girls as beautiful and outstanding as her are all in love with him and are willing to sacrifice everything for him. From a business perspective, this is truly unbelievable. Just how charming can he be? Upon hearing this, Minhee was startled. What are you saying? The 3 of us don't need to hide anymore. I've known about the 2 sisters Jiang for a long time. Hearing this, Minhee didn't know how to respond. Don't have any dark intentions towards them. Don't worry. I used to be extremely jealous of Xoang, but I have very high standards for my own feelings. When I realized I had no hope anymore, I could only stand by and watch them in a passionate relationship. Oh, then I'll have to see you in a different light. So what do you want now? I'm not the eldest child in my family, and unlike my older brother, his marriage bears the responsibility of inheriting the family business. Therefore, the marriage between you and me, while necessary for the family, is not mandatory. You understand what I mean, right? Minhee tightly held her glass of water, feeling a little sad inside. CEO Truongs quietly observed Minhee's expression. All right, there's still time. I hope you think carefully. Minhee didn't feel comfortable saying anything more. Meanwhile, Xoang was tidying up the studio. At that moment, a voice called from outside. Why does a celebrity have to carry chairs like this? Later, when it's time to speak, how can you look good like this, all sweaty? Hello, we will be colleagues working together in the future. I heard you often have conflicts with my girlfriend during live streams, right? Me and your girlfriend have no personal conflicts. It's all for work. You should understand this, right? Sorry for the past. My teammates only put in effort for the project, so we always unite as one and find flaws to learn from each other, not to gossip. The guy stood dumbfounded, embarrassed. While he was still standing there, someone walked over. Ah, it's the chairperson's wife. Hello, ma'am. The chairperson's wife approached and greeted Xoang. Xoang looked back, confused about who it was. Xoang, can we talk for a moment? Haha, you two talk comfortably. I won't disturb you. Chairperson's wife, hello. No need to be so polite. Let's go outside and talk for a moment. Yes, as you wish, ma'am. Quickly, the two went out to the balcony. Chairperson's wife, what brings you to find me? Don't be polite. We are acquaintances, so you can just call me Aunt. Yes, Aunt. Hearing Xoang call her that, the wife was pleased. You and my husband grew up together since childhood. You could say you're childhood sweethearts. When we got married, my husband had nothing to his name, and the family was even more humble. I'm sure you young people have never seen such a simple house, so you can't understand. Xoang didn't say anything further. Since he was young, he had always been carefree and honest, always saying he would bring happiness to her, allowing her to live in a house with a huge garden. On the left, there would be a garden with all the flowers she liked, and on the right, there would be a peach orchard and a small pond for fish. The beautiful image, the happiest moments, would be him sitting in a chair reading the newspaper while she tended to the flowers in the garden, eagerly awaiting their daughter to return from school, saying, "The rice is ready, let's eat." A happy family of three would sit around the dinner table, talking about all sorts of interesting and silly things, living joyfully and making an effort. A truly beautiful dream. And now, she had also turned that dream into reality. Minhee's mother said this dream still hadn't been achieved. Their home now lacked nothing, just Minhee's smile. Hearing this, Xoang was also taken aback. The two stood there for a moment in silence. "I'm sorry for letting you see the weakness of an adult like me. I didn't know. Every day, I always see Minhee at the company looking cheerful. That's because she has someone she cherishes the most at the company. It's you." Xoang was stunned for 5 seconds. "What are you saying? It can't be me. Let me finish what I have to say." "Can you do that?" Xoang could only nod and listen. "Your uncle and I are extremely busy every day, working hard, even when I knew I was pregnant with Minhee. I never took a break. When she kicked for the first time, I was still working overtime with her father because business was thriving at that time, so I had to hold back. However, we were always worried something might happen to Minhee. Although we were exhausted, we always felt we were about to touch our dream. After a while, Minhee was born. I only rested for a few days to take care of her, then handed her over to the nanny, and buried myself back into work with her father. We thought we had realized our dream, but one day she exploded in anger, shouting at us, "Why did you have me without caring for me?" That was when I realized she had never been happy. We discovered we had missed the precious childhood time of Minhee, and that time would never come back again until one day she proactively talked to us, saying, "I'm going to school now and I want to take the bus." Xoang reminisced about that past. "Do you know how happy your uncle and I were back then? We wondered if our daughter was growing up, understanding the hardships of her parents. But not long ago, I realized everything she did was just for you." Xoang was once again shocked. "You were by Minhee's side during her loneliest times, making her more cheerful and lively. I also understood why Minhee wanted to start a career right after graduation, and why she went to work happily every day, even coming home from work at night with a bright smile, though occasionally showing indescribable sorrow." Suddenly, Minhee's mother grasped Xoang's hand, startling him. "Please, I ask you in the future to make my Minhee truly happy." Xoang was taken aback by this sudden request and didn't know what to say. "Aunt, you're putting me in a difficult position. Don't rush to reject my plea." Even knowing all this, Xoang could only bow his head in silence. "What you're asking is quite rude and shameless. I know you already have a girlfriend. Your relationship is very good. Minhee and that girl are close friends. But do you love Minhee? Aunt, can you love two people at the same time?" Minhee's mother felt helpless and let go of Xoang's hand. "If you love someone, how can you also love another?" Xoang was astonished by Minhee's mother's words. "Have you ever thought about it? If so, what about the happiness of the other person? Perhaps you can't believe this statement coming from a woman like me. But if the three of us can be together, wouldn't that make everything simpler? Wouldn't everyone be happy?" "Aunt, do you even know what you're saying?" Xoang felt a headache and instinctively stepped back. "Your uncle and I always knew you were a good boy. If it were someone else, we definitely wouldn't accept it." Hearing this made Xoang dream of happiness. He felt truly moved. "I only have you, even if it means going through that route. Aunt, some things once said will hurt the listener to despair. Or we could say that the three of us will lose everything we have, possibly never experiencing that kind of pain again. If it were you, would you have the courage to face it? Please, I'm a mother, and I can't bear to see my daughter in pain. I don't want her to lose her only chance at happiness in this life. I will plead with Jiang. I will kneel and beg her. I'm sure she will understand." Overwhelmed with fear, Xoang grasped Minhee's mother's hand. "You must not do that. I'm sorry, I was rude." The two looked at each other awkwardly. "I know if Minhee gets engaged and suffers with her personality, she will definitely endure silently without speaking up because she always smiles at those around her and brings them joy. The pain she carries will be hers alone, not because she doesn't want to share the burden with others, but because she fears losing her friends. Aunt, we will endure together with Jiang, share and face difficulties. But I really love Jiang, not just love, but love her very, very much with all my heart. Minhe's mother didn't know what else to say. Xoang then held his head, struggling to express himself. But actually, I loved Minhe very much too. Hearing this, Minhe's mother looked brighter. I just recently figured out my feelings. I can't lie to myself, I'm greedy and shameless. Since I realized my feelings, I have felt immense pain. What should I do? I've been shamelessly thinking that, indeed, in this world, the sun revolves around me. Only I can bring happiness to them. Am I a shameless person? But if Minhe isn't happy, then both my and Jiang's lives will be incredibly uncomfortable. Indeed, if no one takes the initiative, then everything will be beyond repair. So I will take the initiative to step forward, even if Jiang hates me, even if Minhe avoids me. I will shamelessly pursue them again. Once again, it seemed like Xoang was about to cry, but he also looked very excited. Haha, really, it's a great thing when your future mother-in-law speaks like that. In this lifetime, this might be the bravest thing I've ever done, Aunt. This time, let me find Minhe to talk. I'll count on you. At that moment, Jiang was all flustered, holding her phone to see what the two were still discussing. How long are they planning to talk? Hurry up, the ceremony is about to start. What now? Forget it, I'll pretend to be the older sister saying I need to find him. Quickly, Jiang arrived at a room, took a deep breath for courage and reached for the door. Upon entering, she ran into the CEO, Trongs, who was walking out. Minhe, did you finish talking with CEO Trongs? There are some things in the conference room that I want to confirm with Minhe, so I had to interrupt your conversation. Minhe was also surprised by Jiang's words. The CEO, Trongs, didn't understand, frequently glancing at the two women. All right, I'll step out for a bit to let you two talk. After saying that, the CEO walked out. Once he was gone, Jiang sat down. Aren't you afraid of being discovered? What are you talking about? Are you trying to trick me again? The younger sister felt cornered by Jiang's words. Who pays that much attention? Minhe, I have something very important to tell you. What important thing could make you pretend to be my sister and run here? I won't allow you to get engaged. My sister feels the same way. Hearing these words from Jiang left Minhe confused. What nonsense are you talking about? Don't you know how important this engagement is to me and my family? I don't see any signs of it being important to your marriage. Jiang pinched Minhe's cheek. Stop pinching my cheek. I'll ruin my makeup. When I go on stage, I'll know you won't say anything sincere. So for someone like you, I can only resort to drastic measures. After saying this, Jiang leaned close to Minhe. What do you want to do, Jiang? We won't allow you to get engaged. You must stay with us, and that silly pig forever. Minhe wanted to say something but hesitated. Don't joke around like that. It can't be like this. I can't stay single forever like this. Jiang showed a bizarre expression and said, Who says you have to stay single? 3 beautiful girls. Let's raise that silly pig to be fat. What do you think? Hearing this, Minhe got furious and shouted, Jiang, you're crazy. Minhe, stop it. Jiang pulled Minhe's face to stop her from being silly. What time is it? And you're still joking around like this? Jiang wouldn't back down and pinched Minhe's cheek back. I'm extremely serious, okay? So you should cancel this engagement. Are you crazy? Even if you don't want me to get engaged, based on what right do you have to make me raise your silly pig? Even now, you're still pretending with me. You've always loved that silly pig, right? Jiang was caught off guard. Only you two see him as a treasure. Minhe, I've turned down countless hot boys at school and after graduation. I've rejected many rich hairs. So why should I love him? The two, Minhe and Jiang, took turns pinching each other's cheeks, not yielding at all. If you dare to marry someone else, then my sister and I will act sweet and lovey-dovey in front of you, every day to see if you get scared. You girls keep pretending as if you never acted like that before. I used to think you two were one. Suddenly becoming two people isn't anything to be scared of. Haha, in the end, you've admitted it, haven't you? You feel uncomfortable when we show affection to that pig. You, who quietly suffer like this, must have felt terrible. No wonder your peaches are so big. You're so heartless. You also intentionally rub salt in others' wounds. Why do I have a friend like you? I hate it. I told you. Answer me clearly. At this moment, Minhee finally released Jiang's cheeks. You can let go now. That hurts. Jiang also released her to speak with Minhee. Are you serious? You really aren't joking. Of course, I'm completely serious, not a bit of jest here. Taejiang agrees too. This is natural. Jiang smiled smugly. This can't be happening, but how can I do that? Jiang stepped forward and held Minhee's hand. If it were someone else, this would be ridiculous, but if there are already two of us, what's wrong with adding one more? That person is you. But what about Xoang? Can he accept this? I may not have asked the pig, but both my sister and I know he loves you just like he loves us. Is this true? Minhee blushed and asked. If that silly pig didn't love you, we wouldn't be doing something this silly. Can I really? You won't abandon me, right? There won't be friends like us in both history and the future. But does he still have room in his heart for me? That silly pig is just like his name. He may be clumsy with words, but he's very responsible. Since there's me and my sister, if he also has to say he loves you, it will definitely be hard for him. At this moment, Minhee was overjoyed, almost crying. You're right, saying those words is really difficult. I had to think a lot to say what I just said to you. Just then, a loud voice came from the door. What are you two doing? Startled, Jiang and Minhee turned around to look. Xoang was standing there unexpectedly, not knowing for how long. Minhee felt shy and could only turn her face to hide her emotions, while Jiang put on a cute smile and greeted Xoang. Silly pig, why are you here? You should be in the conference room by now. Sojiang, why did you run here? Taejiang is outside the conference room. Aren't you afraid of being caught? Of course, I'm afraid, but I have something very important to do, so I didn't pay attention to that. What important thing? Of course, it's about Minhee. While Jiang was still talking, Minhee pulled her to shut her up. Xoang, what are you doing here? Xoang lowered his head in thought and then looked up. I came to find Minhee. Hearing this made Minhee's heart race. So, what do you want to talk to me about? You two talk. I'll find a place to hide first. At that moment, Xoang suddenly slammed the door to block Jiang. Sojiang, don't go yet. I have something to say to you. Minhee and Jiang went over to sit at the table. Xoang glanced at Jiang, who avoided his gaze, and then looked at Minhee, who mirrored Jiang. Xoang steadied himself and took a deep breath. Sojiang, I love you and I love your sister very, very much. Jiang immediately blushed upon hearing that. Silly pig, why are you being so cheesy all of a sudden? Xoang spoke without daring to open his eyes. So if what I say next makes you think I'm a jerk, feel free to slap me. No matter what, Minhee, I love you. Hearing Xoang confess his love made Minhee melt, leaving her dazed. Jiang was surprised for a moment before bursting into laughter. Minhee's tears flowed as she asked, What did you just say? Xoang, feeling embarrassed, held his head. After a moment, he slapped his own face to snap himself back to reality. I know it's really shameful to confess to you in front of Sojiang, but I can't hide it anymore. I'm just an ordinary man, as ordinary as can be, also insecure and shy. But I still think that besides me, no one else can bring happiness to you and your sister. Xoang shook his head vigorously to reassure himself. So even if CEO Truoms is handsome and outstanding, Minhee, don't marry him. After saying that, Xoang slapped his face again. I know I sound ridiculous, but Minhee was stunned for 5 seconds upon hearing Xoang's words. His face bore the marks of her 10 fingers, and both Jiang and Minhee burst out laughing uncontrollably. What are you two laughing at? Xoang felt too embarrassed and lowered his head, mumbling. Jiang and Minhee kicked their legs up on the table like bosses. Xoang was terrified, feeling like his life was ending. A second later, the two girls joyfully lunged at him, hugging Xoang tightly. It's too much. Xoang was practically swept away by the two girls. Each held a carton of milk and offered it to Xoang. What are you doing? You're going to suffocate me. Let go. I really can't hold back. Just wait a bit longer. I want to hug you like this. The two girls clung to him, refusing to let go. I thought it would take a long time and a lot of effort to get you to say this. Now, can we be together forever? What are you talking about? Jiang said. Xoang looked delighted, as if he had saved the galaxy. Each girl kissed Xoang without hesitation. In the corner, with one girl on each side, they laughed and hugged him tightly. It seemed everyone was laughing like that, haha. I swear, in my past life, I was a superhero protecting Earth. The three embraced for an unknown time, and after a while, they finally sat up to talk. Xoang and Minhee were still not satisfied. You two secretly plotted behind my back to discuss this, huh? What else could we do? If we waited for you to speak up, Minhee would become someone else's fiancé, and then you'd suffer for a lifetime. How could I let that happen? I had to take action first. Jiang stomped her foot defiantly, though she was the smallest. Don't be too much, Jiang. Xoang watched his wife roll her eyes. Ahem. You two, listen to me. Minhee, don't marry CEO Troms, okay? This is a silly pig after all. You haven't even told me your decision. It's just you. You have no reasoning skills at all. The two girls couldn't stop laughing. I'm right. What's wrong with that? At this moment, Minhee decided to please her boyfriend. Taking a deep breath, she declared, I won't marry him anymore. I want to be with you and Jiang for the rest of my life. Are you happy? Hearing this, Xoang felt relieved. Silly pig, did you hear that? You have to make people say it clearly. Xoang felt ashamed and nodded a bit. Is this real? I'm so lucky. Isn't it a bit against fate? Am I dreaming? Jiang whispered something in Minhee's ear. Is this really happening? Of course. Go ahead. My sister and I did the same thing. Otherwise, this silly pig would never know how to take the first step. Hearing this, Minhee stood up straight. Xoang was surprised, not knowing what Minhee was going to do. Minhee slowly walked over to Xoang. Their eyes met, and Minhee's face turned crimson. Without any unnecessary movements, she grabbed Xoang's face and placed her lips on his for a sweet kiss. Xoang embraced Minhee and kissed her deeply. Jiang, watching the scene, felt strange looking at her boyfriend kissing another girl, grinning foolishly. The two were lost in each other, ignoring Jiang, until Minhee could hardly breathe. Only then did they part, letting Minhee gasp for air. I'm dying. How come actors in movies can kiss for so long? Do they even have to use tongue? Xoang was baffled by Minhee's silly question. Finally, our Minhee had taken the first step from a girl to a woman. You still have a lot to learn. Remember how my sister was like that at first? Luckily, I taught our silly pig this beforehand. Now, let me teach you directly. Kissing requires technique. If you want to kiss for a long time, you have to breathe through your nose, so you can kiss as long as you want. Jiang held Xoang's face and demonstrated directly, while Minhee watched closely. Jiang also signaled for Minhee to come closer. Watch Jiang do it again. I still can't see clearly. Did you see? I'm not out of breath at all right now. On the contrary, Xoang is out of breath. Hey, this is the break room. Don't overdo it, okay? And about the tongue, of course, when kissing, you have to play around with the tongue to make it sweet. If you just stick your lips together, it's boring. Oh, so that's what kissing is like. Hey, look at my tongue. This time, look closely. Are you going to do it again? Not letting Xoang say any more, Jiang kissed back. Jiang's tongue play made it hard for Xoang to breathe. Minhee, try it again. If you kiss a few times, you'll get used to it. Whoever is better at tongue play will be in charge of the game. Minhee, Don't just blindly follow Jiang. Minhee excitedly stuck out her tongue and said, Xuaxiang, I find this really interesting, so doing it a little recklessly is fine. If you obey me, I'll be nice to you. Xuaxiang would say something, and Minhee would immediately dive in to kiss. Xuaxiang was helpless with these wives who only knew to close their eyes. After a while of kissing, the three finally let go of each other. Xuaxiang's face was covered in lipstick marks. You guys are too naughty. Minhee, what do you think? I'm very satisfied. This game is like sheep and wolves. Tonight, I'll teach you something else, something even more fun. Xuaxiang felt embarrassed and quickly said, Tell me that fun thing. Jiang leaned in to whisper to Minhee. Is that so? I think we might be able to try that. What are you guys talking about? Minhee, you have to keep your cool. Quickly, restrain yourself. I've been holding back for over 20 years. Now that I have a boyfriend, why should I pretend to hold back? Besides, there's a good teacher here to teach me how to use it. You should hold back, right? You're right about that. While the three were still talking, a scream was heard. Someone, quickly call an ambulance. Our director has fainted. Hearing that, the three inside were also startled. Without hesitation, Xuaxiang rushed outside with her two wives. What happened? Director Jiang suddenly fainted. Where is she? The director is still lying in the auditorium. Hearing that, Xuaxiang quickly rushed to the auditorium. Minhee and Xoang also followed. After Xoang ran out, the staff were shocked because there was another director. What's going on? Why is there another person? Is this rumor true? The bulletin board wrote about a pair of extremely beautiful twins who pretended to be one for a job. There must be a terrible secret. In the auditorium, Xuaxiang kicked the door open. Where's Jiang? Xuaxiang kept searching with her eyes. After a moment, Xuaxiang saw Jiang surrounded by a crowd lying on the stage. Minhee's parents and CEO Truong's had also arrived to check. Minhee's mother kept pressing Jiang's nose for first aid. Why hasn't the ambulance arrived yet? Xuaxiang hurriedly ran to Jiang. Xoang and Minhee also followed. Everyone turned to look. Xoang approached Minhee's father and CEO Truong's. What suddenly happened to her? Xuaxiang, don't rush. Jiang just fainted, but her breathing and heartbeat are still normal. Jiang's body kept sweating and trembling. Xuaxiang didn't wait any longer and picked Jiang up to move. I'm taking her to the hospital right now. Xoang also wanted to go with them. Minhee looked at her father and then at her mother and said, I'm going too. You don't need to wait for me. Minhee, if you go, who will speak? And what about you and CEO Truong's? I'm not getting engaged anymore. You all handle the rest. Minhee's parents didn't dare to say anything. Minhee immediately followed the three of them. Minhee's parents exchanged smiles. You're not angry with the girl, are you? I see our darling isn't sad or downcast anymore. Then what could be more joyful than this? At this time, the manager from the partner company was surprised by the two directors. What's going on with CEO Truong's in this world? Suddenly, there are two identical directors. CEO Jiang isn't getting engaged to him anymore. What on earth happened? Chairman, this matter doesn't affect the merger of the two companies, right? It doesn't affect it. It's just an engagement issue. It's not necessary. That just reassures everyone. The most important thing is still the merger of the two companies, and what benefits can be gained. Chairman, do you think that's correct? Yes, that's right. The speech can continue as usual. As for the engagement ceremony, it should be cancelled. The replacement for the program will depend on you. But this is making it difficult for me. Handling the situation quickly is also part of your responsibility at work. But that's okay, I trust your ability. The other guy's mouth dropped open. I understand, CEO. On the busy road, Minhee was driving Jiang to the hospital. Xuaxiang sat in the back, constantly worried, holding Jiang tightly. Jiang's body kept trembling uncomfortably. In the car, Xoang was reading news. The news board had reported about the two twin sisters doing the same job. Damn it, who the hell did this? Minhee didn't slow down and sped along. Don't rush. In this situation, you can't lose your mind. Xuaxiang, Tell the legal team to investigate behind the scenes to find out who posted this video first. Got it. I'll contact them right away. This is the first time I want to punch someone so badly. Let me call the legal team to keep an eye on it. Xoang couldn't find anything during the investigation because the confidentiality was breached, and they couldn't find the source of the original video. After a while, the three arrived at the hospital. Xoang, let's go take care of the emergency procedures. Xoang, take Taejian to the emergency room. Quickly, the two followed the orders. One went to handle the paperwork, and the other rushed inside. In the hospital, those gossiping noticed Xoang and Taejian. Anyone who read the news glanced at them. Some laughed, others talked nonstop, gossiping behind Xoang's back. Look, isn't that girl the one from the video? Xoang was holding and protecting Taejian while staring at them. Wasn't there supposed to be two people? There's only one here, so it probably isn't them. Just as they finished speaking, Minhai and Xoang rushed in. The two men talking turned around, dumbfounded. The procedures are done. Let's head in. Xoang, how is Taejian? See, it's really them. I have to record this for content. Don't tell me this guy is two-timing with three girls. Isn't this guy quite something, teaching people well? Hearing this, Xoang angrily shouted at the man. What are you talking about? You're slandering us. Record what? Get lost. Poor and shameless. It's my phone, I'll record whatever I want. The old pervert aimed his phone straight at Minhee. She's pretty nice, huh? Scum at the bottom of society, not striving to improve, but instead acting shamelessly. Minhee, furious, stepped forward wanting to teach the old man a lesson. After taking 2 steps, Xoang pulled Minhee back. Why are you stopping me? I need to teach him a lesson. You stay and take care of Taejian. Lead these uneducated people to me. For the first time, Minhee was surprised by Xoang's deadly glare. Xoang handed Taejian over to Minhee, then angrily strode toward the man recording. What do you plan to do with this video? Without saying a word, Xoang knocked the old man's phone away. Minhee and Xoang were both stunned as the phone was destroyed. You bastard! You dared to smash my phone. Pay for it now, or I'll beat you to death. I smashed it, so what? Go ahead and record another one if you dare. You want to fight? Fine, come at me. What are you looking at? Hurry and call the police to protect us. The crowd around saw his cowardice and laughed in his face. Do you still want to film? Do you believe I will smash everything? No, the two young men filming were so scared that they immediately put away their phones. Just as it was getting tense, the nurse invited the patient Yajiang into the examination room. Very quickly, the three of them brought Taejiang in to visit. The doctor checked her heart rate, blood pressure, and then observed the responsiveness of her pupils. Doctor, how is she? All test results are normal, there are no issues. Her health is very good. Then, why does she keep being in a coma? Maybe you should take her to the neurology department for a checkup. The neurology department of my cousin? Xoang was a little surprised, then picked up Taejiang, and the three of them headed to the neurology department, where the rogue who had just brought the police was waiting. Officer, he smashed my phone. He even tried to hit me. I am a law-abiding citizen. If I were to fight, that would be a crime. I hope you can help me resolve this and take them into custody. You're lying. It's clear you filmed us first. Look, they don't care about the police at all. No, with you here, they still dare to curse and glare at me. Minhai, you take Taejiang ahead. Let me handle this here. We'll go look for my cousin. Taejiang is in critical condition. This type of situation is still something for me to handle. But you used to have me deal with things whenever you had difficulties while we were in school. After saying that, Minhee signaled for Xoang to leave quickly. Okay, you come back soon. Minhai, I trust you. Okay, my love. Once I'm done, I'll come back right away. Everyone just wait there for me. The poor man looked at Xoang and laughed mockingly. Officer, if there's anything, just tell me. I'm their representative. They still need to go for a medical examination. The officer checked on the situation over by Xoang for a moment, then glanced at the guy behind him, who was pretending to be disabled. All right, you can take the patient away first. Upon hearing that, the loser was startled. Xuanxing got the police's approval and immediately carried Taejiang away. "Officer, why did you let them go? Especially that guy. He clearly smashed my phone. I've met a lot of people who steal and then shout. So do you think I'm mentally challenged? If they already have a representative, then find a place to negotiate and reconcile." After a while, Xuanxing finally arrived at his cousin's office. "Huh, where has my cousin gone?" At this moment, his cousin peeked her head up from behind the sofa and asked, "What's the matter?" She was wearing a face mask, which startled Xuanxing and Sojong. "It's me. Why did you three come to find me?" "Cousin, quickly examine Taejiang for me." His cousin stood up and shook her head. "I thought you were about to start your presentation. What happened to her?" His cousin checked Taejiang's face for a moment and said, "Quickly take her into the room to lie down." Xuanxing didn't hesitate and rushed inside. "Hey, cousin, why aren't you coming in?" His cousin lazily sat down on the chair. "What's the rush? Just lay her down and come back out. What nonsense are you saying? Just speak and hurry up." Xuanxing had no choice but to follow her instructions and brought Taejiang inside to lie down. "You two take off her coat and tights. Loosen her clothes to make it easier for her to breathe." Xuanxing and Taejiang began to do as his cousin instructed. "Jiang, you just got brought home." Jiang, I hurriedly took off Xuanxing's clothes and helped to take off the bottom too. The two of them fumbled for a while and finally finished. At that moment, his sister Xoang shouted, "What are you dawdling around for? Just taking off clothes takes so long. Do you want to treat her or not?" So the two of them immediately ran outside. At that time, your sister fainted, and we immediately took her to the hospital. But after examining her, the doctor said there was nothing wrong. He asked us to go to the neurology department for a checkup, so we hurried back right away. "Cousin, that's how it is." "Oh, I didn't expect that while I was putting on a mask, so many things happened." Let me think. Why are you frowning? Is it something serious? Is it dangerous? Say something. Be quiet. I'm thinking about how much to charge for the medical examination. Are you joking? What time is it, and you still have the mood to think about this? We went to the hospital and didn't take a number, did we? My cousin uses this to earn a living. It's normal to ask for some examination fee. Then how much do you want? Just say it directly. All right, I agree to one thing with you. Consider it the examination fee. Xuanxing and Jiang were surprised and thought for a while. I agree, just say what it is. It's agreed then. I haven't thought of what it is yet. Let me owe you for now. You're trying to take advantage of the situation. Now let's begin the examination. Sister, here I come. What's wrong with Taejiang? She was overly stimulated and psychologically affected, causing her to faint. This is because she had a history of such issues before. Excessive fear caused the blood vessels in her brain to constrict, leading to a lack of oxygen in the brain. When you were young, did you experience something? Xuanxing glanced at Jiang, who lowered her head in thought and fanned her hand for a while. Well, it's not that we were just playing around. When we were in school, my sister experienced severe psychological trauma. At that time, we were in different classes, though we are twins. I never paid attention to my studies, yet my results were always very good, while my sisters were a bit worse. I was always in the top 3, while she was often ranked around 50th, which made people talk. They're twins, how come their results are so different? Some would even joke, did the younger sister steal all the older sister's IQ? My classmates kept making fun of her. Shut up. What are you laughing at? Why are you so angry? Let's just go home. Even though she laughed at the time, on the way home, it was the opposite. Don't be upset, I know you've always tried hard. But what's the point of saying that? Didn't Dad always say that hard work will eventually pay off? Then tutor me at home. Yes, I'll do my best to make you the best. Actually, my sister was very strong-willed. Even though there were many exercises I found incredibly easy, she had to spend a lot of time solving them. Yet I never saw her give up. Heaven does not betray those who work hard. All their efforts paid off. During the second semester exam, her test made it to the top 5 students with the highest scores, and she was praised by the teacher in front of the class. Thank you, everyone. Dad, you once said that all efforts would be rewarded. So I believe that as long as you study seriously and diligently, you'll achieve great results. That's right. When school ended, while my sister was reviewing her results, a classmate came up and snatched her paper. 98 points, huh? Impressive. The last question was so hard. Only 5 people in the class got it right, and you managed to do it. Ah, yes, it was difficult, but I encountered a similar problem while practicing before, so I guess I was lucky. Your grades improved so fast. Oh, right, you have a twin sister in the next class, don't you? Her grades are also very good. Don't tell me she took the test for you. Ah, so that's the trick, huh? Only twins could come up with such a clever plan. No wonder you scored higher than Zhang Yan this time. Hey, Zhang Yan, what nonsense are you spouting? You couldn't accept that your score was lower than Yajiang's, so you spread these baseless rumors, right? Normally, she scores much lower than Zhang Yan, but now suddenly her score is off the charts. Who would believe she did it on her own? Shut up and give it back to me. No, what will you do about it? If you cheated to get this score, what's the point of keeping it? At that moment, my sister was shocked, holding her test paper. Cheating only dirties your hands. We're just unfortunate because we don't have a twin, so we have to struggle hard on our own to stay on the leaderboard. Tech, they're just jealous because you scored high. Don't mind them. The scene then shifts to Zhang's house. Mom, Dad, we're home. Please open the door. You're back? Hurry and wash up, then let's eat. Dinner is ready. During the meal, Dad asked, "Did you get the exam results today? How did you both do?" Not bad. I ranked second in my class. I finished too fast and made a small mistake on one question. Well, that's still good. Keep working hard. You need to fix that impatient nature of yours. Yes, I know. What about your sister? I've been working hard recently. Even the difficult questions I managed to solve. I think I did well, and the result? Oh, I placed 5th in the class. Congratulations. Your hard work has paid off. It's thanks to your help with the revision. You deserve credit too, for being diligent. Haha, good job, both of you. Mom and Dad are proud. Now, eat up. Mom made your favorite grilled shrimp with scallion oil. Yes, thank you. After dinner, we went upstairs to study and accidentally discovered your exam paper. It had been torn in half, taped back together, and was all wrinkled. What's going on with you? It's nothing, don't panic like that. It's the first time I got such a high score on a test. I was a little excited, so when I received my exam from the teacher, I wasn't careful and tore it. Why were you so careless? Well, it was like that. There's no way I'd randomly tear up my exam paper. You should go to bed first. It's okay now. So hurry up and finish your exam, okay? Let's watch a movie together. The male lead is super handsome. What's the use of being handsome? He can't turn into food. You know that already. I like nice guys, not just handsome ones. So in the future, just find someone honest and kind to marry. Look at your mouth. Both Dad and Mom can't deal with you. Later, someone will be able to seal you away, you little demon. What are you? A high-powered fairy? Huh? It's a long way until you're captured. At that time, even though I felt something was off, she didn't want to do anything. I had to worry, so I always tried to endure things that made her unhappy. Until later, when her grades kept changing, her friends started to scrutinize her more. Have you heard anything, little sister? She got the same score as her. They're twins, who knows, maybe they have a spiritual connection. Don't talk nonsense. How can 2 classes cheat on the same test? Didn't she go to the bathroom while taking the exam? That might have been when they swapped. That's a clever method, haha. Zhangjian, are you talking nonsense again? Hey, are you trying to confront the whole class or something? Do you see anyone in class believing her? I'm just here, relying on my own efforts to get this result. I'm not ashamed of myself. Ah, I see, you 2 sisters. You've worked hard to cultivate your special abilities, right? So no one can catch you off guard. Now we can only admire you. After all, you're currently one of the top 3 students in the class. Everyone can see that, right? From then on, they began to point and gossip about her alone. She silently endured all sorts of insults and ridicule, but we didn't know anything. This is a typical kind of mental torture that made Taejeon hate studying afterwards. Is that right? Yes, I found out. One day she hugged me and cried a lot, saying she didn't want to go to school anymore. After that, when I told Mom and Dad, they found out that those little bastards were jealous of her academic performance and had constantly framed her throughout the entire semester. Normally, Dad teaches us not to bully others, but we absolutely cannot let them bully us. Do they dare bully Dad's daughter? Dad will be the support for us. We can't accept being bullied at school. Yes, let's all go together. After that, my dad went to see the homeroom teacher. The teacher is the homeroom teacher. Doesn't she understand anything about her students? Or what? Zhang is progressing very quickly and deserves praise, but Zhangyan is also a key student. Normally, she has a good relationship with other classmates in the class and is also a class leader. How could she do something like this? We are not the kind of people who lie. If you don't believe us, you can call her in here to clear things up face to face. 5 minutes later, she came in looking very stubborn. What, school bullying? How could you do such a thing? I didn't hit or scold her. All the classmates can testify. You led the charge to frame my sister. Do you still not admit it? Zhang Yan, is that you? My daughter has made progress and scored high. I heard you spread rumors that she took the test for her. Is that true? Well, yes, I did say it, but it was just a joke. Normally, classmates tease each other like that. It was just a joke. Students in class often tease each other. This is very normal. But Zhang Yan, how could you bring this up as a joke? Oh dear, surely Zhang isn't that fragile, right? It was just a tiny joke, and it turned into this? How will we be able to be classmates later? If it was just a joke, then this incident was just a misunderstanding. Next time, don't do that again, okay? Or Zhang Yan should apologize to Zhang and promise not to do such things anymore. I'm sorry, I was just joking a bit. I didn't expect Zhang to take it so seriously. I won't joke like that anymore. I apologize, uncle. I was wrong, I was just joking a bit too much. Zhang's dad, look, she's also apologizing. The kids are still young and don't understand. The most important thing is that they know it's good to admit mistakes and correct them. They still have to learn together, right, uncle? The teacher knows she was wrong. I promise I won't do that again. Zhang is a good girl. Whenever she faces difficulties or grievances, she keeps it all to herself and doesn't let anyone know, so we don't have to worry. As her father, I really care for my daughter. If anyone dares to bully her, I will never forgive that person. You too, my child. Our whole family is a support for you. Zhang, I apologize to you again. I've realized my own mistakes. I definitely won't be like that anymore. I suggest that the teacher should pay more attention to the students every day. Yes, of course. If Zhang has any problems, she can tell me, okay. After exchanging a few more casual greetings, the family went home. Although we are just an ordinary family, we live with dignity. We don't cause trouble but definitely don't hide like turtles. Parents will be a support for their children. If it were just like that, it wouldn't have happened like now, right? If it were just like that, then the sisters wouldn't have been like this. Zhang Yan is the culprit for what happened after that. It's true that they don't speak ill of her anymore, but Zhang Yan has treated her even more cruelly than before. Hey, how did the test go this time? Same as always. After school, let's go home together. I know a really good restaurant. My family has something to do, I can't go. I'm going to the restroom. One day, I discovered the truth. Sodu was bullied because of her. Hey, you said you weren't going to play with Zhang anymore, right? Why are you talking to her today? Zhang is very pitiful. She hasn't done anything wrong. The mistake is that she dared to offend our Zhangyan. That's an achievement Zhang worked hard to gain. What's this, squinty eyes? Are you planning to confront the whole class? If you're not united like this, when something difficult happens later, who will help you? That's right. I heard your dad is working for Zhang Yan's dad's company. Is he getting promoted soon? If you provoke Zhang Yan and she tells her dad, what will your dad do? What's so difficult for me? Zhang Yan values you and accepts to talk to you. You should feel very honored, right? I know already. At that moment, I kicked the door open, shocking those guys into silence for a few seconds. Zhang Yan, you bastard, what are you doing? What does it have to do with you? Why are you so angry? I was just chatting with squinty eyes. Could I say anything bad about my sister? What were you saying earlier? What do you mean? Now no one in class dares to speak ill of your sister. Right, your sister is so capable. She has a fierce little sister and a hot-tempered dad. What are we kids supposed to dare to provoke her? Zhang Yan and I both wish to avoid her as much as possible. Afraid we'll get criticized by the teacher again. At that moment, I rushed up intending to punch them in the mouth. Are you crazy? What do you want? Let go. What are you trying to do? Squinty eyes, they've treated my sister like that for how long now? Half a semester. At that time, I was so angry that I slapped one of them across the face. They all rushed to resist, but I single-handedly beat them, and they were left in disarray. They could only use their mouths. You've never even hit me. And you dare to, you bastard, let go, let go. They're fighting. School violence, someone is hitting someone else. Quickly call the teacher. At that moment, my sister also ran up. Seeing me getting hit, she also rushed in to help. After a while of fighting, we ended up being called to the disciplinary room. You guys dare to fight in school. Do you know what behavior that is? You're not kids anymore, so this isn't a joke, it's a gang fight. Especially since you're all girls. You look down on the school's regulations, don't you? We were just chatting on the rooftop, and suddenly they rushed in to hit us first. That's a clear lie. They bullied my sister first. How could they bully your sister? How could you guys bully her? You're so fierce, we don't even dare to approach. We didn't dare to talk to your sister at all. Did we curse or hit her? Did we slander her? Tell me, did they hit or insult you? No, so how could there be bullying here? They threatened the whole class, making everyone stay away from my sister, and even forbidding Squinty Eyes from talking to her. Did they threaten you? Squinty Eyes, at that moment, because of some threats related to her father, didn't say anything. No, we were just joking. Squinty Eyes, you're lying. Quickly tell the teacher the truth, you bastard. Everyone in the class has friends to play with. You don't have the ability to make them not play with her. As students, the most important thing is to study. If you don't pass the university entrance exam, you'll be eliminated by society, living day by day. That's something the teacher doesn't have to worry about. I'm in the top 10 of the grade. She's in the top 20 of the grade. Joking? I'm also in the top 30 of the grade, teacher. How can good students fight? If you're so free, why don't you take out your books and study? That's right, we're playing together. We didn't touch you at all. You guys are better than me. I wouldn't dare to climb higher. Hearing that, Zhang got furious and demanded to take action against the opponent. You bastard! Are you still trying to rub salt in my sister's wounds? What's this? You think being near home will help you? Teacher, she hit me again. At that moment, both sides charged at each other, scratching and clawing. The teacher stood helplessly watching as students pulled each other's hair and slapped each other's faces. What kind of behavior is this? Call the parents here immediately. So both sides had their families called to school urgently. When the teacher saw Zhang Yan's dad, he bowed. Mr. Trongs, I heard your company has been chosen as one of the top 10 enterprises in the city. Even the mayor must have awarded you. Then, looking at the father of the two twins, he asked, "Why are you only just arriving?" The father saw his daughters with scratches and rushed over to ask what had happened. Your daughters hit someone else, the teacher replied. Let me explain. Your daughters hit the daughter of Mr. Trongs. This incident has caused both physical and emotional harm to her, which has made Mr. Trongs very angry. So even though he's very busy, he made time to come here. It's clear he's taking this matter seriously. Now please present how you intend to resolve this. Lying. My daughters would never do that. We reviewed the cameras. That is the truth. They are delinquent students, but they are still minors, so they are protected by the law and exempt from criminal penalties. However, we can still suggest to the police to implement educational policies for delinquent students who lie. Clearly, she has always bullied my sister, which is why I hit her. She's the real jerk. Jiang Yan bullied your sister? How did Jiang Yan bully your sister? She made squinty eyes and other classmates avoid her. I heard everything. In class, there are many students. Whoever likes to play with someone will play with that person. What does it have to do with me? How would we dare provoke your sister? We were just keeping our distance from her. Is that wrong? Moreover, it's clear that Squinty Eyes doesn't want to play with Yajiang anymore and wants to play with us. What can I do about it? Do you think I'm right, Squinty Eyes? Squinty Eyes could only remain silent under pressure from all sides. So, you have bullied Jiang Yan then? This is school violence. The school has reminded you many times about the rules. How could you do such a thing, Squinty Eyes? You jerk. Now everything is clear. How do you think this should be handled, Mr. Jiang Yan? Do you understand your daughter? Please don't go off topic. Although I'm usually very busy, I always value my children's education. I have high expectations for them. So I've arranged for her to have the best tutors. Not only must she achieve high grades in academics, but she also needs to learn various other skills. She's competent in literature, chess, calligraphy, and painting. She's usually very obedient and understanding. I understand my daughter very well. I'm just curious to know what you mean by asking that. It's really hard. I'm just an ordinary citizen, doing an ordinary job. Every day after work, my wife and I go home to eat with our children, watching them grow up. My elder daughter doesn't talk much, but she's very gentle and kind. My younger daughter is like a parrot, laughing and talking all the time. I want to be a responsible father, hoping my children are always happy, knowing what they like to eat and what they fear. This is what a real father is like. I believe my daughter wouldn't hit someone else unless they couldn't bear it anymore. It's your daughter who has made mine lose her smile. And you, with your shifty lawyer, want to twist the facts. I hope you choose your words carefully. Your daughter is still a minor. By your words, you have insulted the honor and dignity of Mr. Truong's and me. This is the crime of defamation, which could lead to 3 years in prison, detention, or the loss of political rights. Jiang Jiang's dad stepped forward and slapped the secretary, shocking everyone. This is a school. How dare you hit someone else in school? So Jiang, do you regret hitting her? No. Jiang Yan is extremely despicable. Jiang, have you ever done anything wrong to Jiang Yan? I never did anything. Good. My 2 daughters. A person who instigates others for personal gain, like you, should ask your own conscience if everything you said is true. From the moment you entered here, you never asked about the root cause of the issue. You just focused on how my daughter hit her and then tried to frame us. Or is it because your daughter benefits from it that you publicly twist the facts like that? I'm telling you, my daughter hasn't done anything wrong. They fought beautifully. What kind of father are you to support your child hitting others? This is school violence, do you understand? If the law is set to protect the wicked, then I'll teach my children that we don't need the law. Their father will seek justice for them. Otherwise, they will always have nightmares in the future. Jiang Jiang's dad turned and yelled at Jiang Yan. Jiang Yan immediately ran to hide behind her father. Dad, what are you going to do to my daughter? I don't care how powerful you are. I'm the one speaking reason here. Ask your daughter, did she bully her friend? Did you bully her? No, it's because they're weak and fragile. We just don't get along, so I don't want to play with her. Is that wrong? Did you hear anything? I also trust my daughter. Jiang Jiang's dad angrily punched the opponent in the face, causing him to fall, and the teacher turned pale with fear. Oh, that was a good hit. What happened next? After taking the father to the hospital, we later found out that when he learned of the incident, he rushed to school and was hit by a car on the way. He forced himself to endure the pain to come to school, and after hitting someone too hard, he passed out and was later taken to the hospital. 1 day later, 2 police officers came. Who is Iamgupbu? He is my husband. What do you want? Someone reported that Iamgupbu intentionally assaulted someone. We need you to come with us to assist in the investigation. Never. You are truly despicable. Clearly, they were bullying us. Isn't that right? Well, after our investigation, we will know. We will never let the bad guys go and falsely accuse the good ones. The accuser has provided evidence, so we need to investigate and clarify the situation. You are really despicable. Why is it that evidence that benefits the bad guys is so easily found, but evidence proving the good is innocent just disappears? After that, my dad was accused of intentional assault because he refused to apologize and reconcile, so he was detained for 15 days. From then on, my sister and I became quieter and more withdrawn. She was extremely afraid of school and always locked herself in the house. Since that day, our family no longer had laughter. Sister, I have some good news. Right now, Zhang Yan is also being avoided by everyone because of this. She has received retribution, so you can rest easy. Going back to school like this isn't even more frightening. But it's easy for classmates to isolate someone like that. Why is that so scary? It's not Zhang Yan that I'm afraid of, but the cold gazes from the other classmates looking at me. Look, can't you just treat them like air? If it were me, I wouldn't care what they think. We study not for others, but for ourselves. I want to be like you, but I can't. I really can't. Then just become me. Just become me, and you won't have to worry anymore. What are you saying? Okay, just come out with me. Starting today, you and I will be one person. You won't need to go to that disgusting class anymore. What are you thinking? What kind of nonsense is this? It didn't exist before, but it will start with us. Do you still want your sister to go to school, Taejiang? Do you think so too? She remained silent. Not hearing his daughter reply, the father lit a cigarette and thought, do you know why I hit someone? Of course, it's to stand up for your sister. Suddenly, he stood up and became serious. That's right, your grandfather died on the battlefield. Before he went to war, he left two sayings for me. Listen carefully. First, even though our family is just ordinary people, our knees are to kneel to heaven and earth and to our parents, but never bow to anyone else. Your grandfather is a role model for me to follow. Even at the moment of his death on the battlefield, he still dragged the enemy down with him. And the second saying is that once you decide on something, you must bear the consequences, no matter what they are. You must never regret it. Do you understand? Yes, we remember. I'll give you 3 days to think carefully. Honey, why are you causing a scene with them? It's a trivial matter. Let them think. Haha, clear thinking, enlightened mind because of your sister. You must have thought about this for a long time, right? In those 3 days, my sister and I thought a lot. A lot. But we never discussed giving up. If we two pretend to be one person, just change our personality a little to fit in, then maybe others won't notice. The classmates in my class are very nice. You don't need to worry. Even if someone wants to cause trouble for you or me, I'll take care of it. I promise to resolve it satisfactorily. 3 days later, we got lectured again. Have you thought it over? We thought it through very well. Are you kidding? Doing this now is better. But what about in the future when you two want to date and get married? When that time comes, what will you do? If we both like the same person, then we'll just take him. Or if we don't like the same person, we can just not get married. The most important thing is that my sister won't be sad or gloomy anymore. Are you going to lock her in the house for her whole life? Honey, say something. Okay, just let me. Have you thought it through? Yes, we have. Then let's go eat. The father's attitude was completely agreeable, so my sister and I were very happy. My sister and I got our parents' approval to pretend to be one person, then asked Dad to inform the school that she would transfer. My sister and I changed ourselves drastically, carefully pretending to be one person. The process was very hard, but we finally adapted to this identity. However, from that point on, I never saw her smile again. I was very sad, but thought it was better than letting my sister be depressed alone at home. I was determined to think of a way to make her smile again. But time passed, and by the time I started college, I still hadn't done it. Until that day, which seemed to be the first day of school. My sister went to the school to find the student council, but didn't know where it was. A few male students helped her with directions, but then encountered a bad guy. Oh, little sister, you look quite unusual. Are you a new student? My sister tried to ignore him, but he followed her on his bike. Little sister, do you want to go to the student council? Hurry up and get in the car. I'll take you there. I don't need it. I can walk myself. Hey, beauty, the rich kid is talking to you. Why are you being rude? My sister saw many people harassing her and ran away. But they chased her on their bikes, even deliberately bumping into others. When the people reacted, they threatened them with a knife. Seeing this, she was terrified and ran, but they pulled her back. Hey, little sister, walk slowly. If you go fast, you might fall. Get away. I don't know you. At that moment, several more people came to tease her. Classmate, don't you feel honored to have upperclassmen caring about you? Why are you being so rude? Hey, you don't know. Your face looks like a bad guy. You've scared the little sister. Don't be afraid. I'm a fourth-year foreign trade student. Seeing you hurry like this, I thought you had something urgent. Just go. For the sake of me, you should go. You guys, don't come over here. She struggled but didn't get any help, and all her memories of being bullied in childhood came rushing back. Just then, he appeared. What are you guys doing? He showed up like a hero, making her flustered and moved. Hey man, we're having a chat with this little girl. Get out of the way. If you don't move, what's going to happen? Do you want to fight, rat? He spoke while pulling out a knife, making my sister flinch and lean against him. You can't blame others for misunderstanding you, buddy. Don't get us wrong, we just want to help this girl. She wants to go to the student council, but it's a long way. I just want to give her a ride. Stop causing trouble here. Oh, so you want to go to the student council? Yes, but I don't know them. I just joined the student council. Come with me. At that moment, he dared to hold my sister's hand and walk away in front of them. Damn it! You little punk, don't you understand human language? Today, I'm going to teach you how to be a person. They rushed at Xoang, but he fearlessly confronted them. You little brat, I find you annoying and want to teach you a lesson. You dare to hit someone on campus. He punched him in the head. A loud crack echoed, making everyone freeze. Damn it! This kid's head is really hard, huh? Are you okay, buddy? No, I'm fine, just a bit of a headache. Just a little. The look on his face made my sister laugh. At that moment, the homeroom teacher appeared. It's those guys driving around school, teasing female students. Everyone turned around and saw a girl with the teacher. Whose car is this? How dare you drive into the school? Their faces turned as green as a toad's. Run! We can't anger the homeroom teacher. He'll call my dad. The group teasing her immediately jumped in their car and sped away. Thank you, buddy. And that was the first time everyone met Minhee. Hey, weren't you the one who signed up with me for the student council 2 days ago? Oh, so you really signed up with me. What a coincidence. Why are you so silly? When facing thugs, you don't know to call a teacher? Did you want to fight with them? I didn't think of that. I just couldn't stand seeing them bully other students. Hi, I'm Minhee from the student council. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And you? Introduce yourself. I'm Xoang. And I'm Jiang. This classmate also wants to join the student council. Oh really? Then I'll take you there. I need to go there to deal with some work too. Let's go together. Hey, wait. I want to go too. This student is that idiot bothering you? Do you need me to deal with him for you? No, it's fine. He saved me earlier. Suddenly, Minhee turned around, startling him. What's wrong? Aren't you going to hurry up? Go to the student council and help me deal with some work. Oh, okay, thank you. Right, Minhee, you showed up just in time. The teacher's office is quite far from here. How did you get here so fast? Oh, this is the running champion. You try saying that. Is she really that impressive? Running all that distance without getting breathless or sweaty. Minhee stood still, not knowing how to respond. Let's hurry, it's getting late. Don't waste time with that fool anymore. That day, I was home watching the pirate show. Luffy was fighting Kato when she came back, bringing food. She was in a very good mood, running over to grab my hand. Do you know what happened today after school? There were 2 guys, and just looking at their avatars, I knew they were bad. She excitedly recounted the story, thrilled about making 2 new friends. I was very happy that day, but also very jealous. I was happy because she smiled again, but jealous because it was someone else who made her smile, not me. At that moment, I realized that this man had already captured her heart. That guy dared to steal her away from me. So that's how it is. The silly appearance of Xoang made Jiang pinch him hard, then suddenly hug him. You silly pig, go find her smile back. Xoang declared, okay, leave it to me. After saying that, he turned to his sister. Sister, what should I do to help Jiang get rid of her past trauma? The corner of her mouth curled up slightly. Oh dear, hearing you tell that story has worn me out. Understanding her hint, Xoang hurried over to massage her shoulders. Is this better? You're so sweet, Xoang. I'm very satisfied. There's a method, but can you do it? It's not about whether I can do it or not. It's about whether I must do it. She looked at Xoang and smiled. Your attitude is thanks to my teaching. How will you thank me? How do you want me to thank you? Oh, Xoang, I've been sitting too long. My legs are a bit numb now. Xoang understood and immediately massaged her legs. Thank you, Aunt, for raising such a good silly pig. Oh, did I say that? To untie the bell, of course, you need to find the one who tied it. Tell Zhangyan to sincerely apologize to Jiang. Only then can all the knots in her heart be untied. Can you do this? Xoang and Xoang were taken aback for a moment. This isn't easy. It's hard to change a person's nature. How can someone like her sincerely apologize to others? Aunt, do you have a way to change her nature? Just then, there was a hurried knock at the door. Xoang opened the door to find Minhee, who was out of breath, looking worried for Jiang. What's wrong? Is she still not awake? Xoang replied sadly. There's been a development. Minhee hurriedly entered the house. Unexpectedly, she slipped a bit. Jiang anxiously shouted, be careful. Fortunately, Xoang used his speed to catch Minhee. Looking down at her reddened foot, Xoang quietly asked, what happened to your foot? I was worried about Jiang, so I ran quickly from the gate to here. My foot is just a bit shaky. It's nothing. Oh, it's bleeding, and you still say it's nothing. Quick, put on some slippers. After saying that, Xoang bent down to get a pair of slippers for her. Minhee gratefully looked at Xoang and then put on the slippers. Nothing escaped his sister's eyes. At that moment, her gaze had some thoughts. A moment later, Xoang took out a first aid kit he had left in the room, applied some ointment to Minhee's foot, and then bandaged it. After treating her wound, she started discussing the main issue. The police have found the account of the main instigator who spread the video. So, everyone collectively cursed, who the hell is that? It's a personal account registered in Landong City. Upon hearing this, Xoang and Xoang's faces turned serious. Looking at them, my sister asked, what's the matter with Landong City? Why do you look so heavy? That's the hometown of Jiang and Xoang. Let me see that account. Minhee hurriedly took out her iPhone, swiped a few times, and then showed the screen to Xoang. Seeing the content, Xoang gritted her teeth, looking frustrated. Looks like someone familiar. Xoang hurriedly stood up and grabbed the phone. Seeing the account on the phone and losing control, he cursed, damn Zhangyan, that bitch. Suddenly, there was a sound of the bedroom door opening, and Jiang appeared, sitting on the floor. Why is it still her? Everyone was startled at this moment. Xoang immediately ran over to comfort her. We'll go to Landong. I will definitely help you solve this. Tears trickled down Jiang's cheeks. Minhee also approached, saying, okay, let's go. You and Xoang can handle the company stuff. If you face any difficulties, call us right away. We are the 4 champions. Seeing everyone helping each other like that, their cousin sighed silently. It's good. Maybe she also wants to be a part of this quartet. After pondering for a long time, she went to the refrigerator and grabbed a can of beer. If the assignments are done, Xoang, take Minhee home first. Xoang will pack her things and I will take care of Jiang. After opening the beer can, she drank it all in one go. Everyone go home now. Xoang supported Minhee as they went down to the garage. What's going on with Zhangyan and Jiang? Xoang sighed, it's a long story. After hearing the story, Minhee was angry. So that's it. I always felt they were pretending to be one person, It was too childish. I didn't expect there was even something like this behind it. Suddenly, Minhee withdrew her hand. You should go back to Taejeong now. She needs someone by her side. Under the influence of inertia from the strong pull, Minhee's legs cramped again. Just as the teleportation had just recovered, Xoang used it to approach and catch Minhee. His arms wrapped around her soft waist, making her shy and blush. After a few seconds, Xoang declared, "No one should pretend to be strong anymore. From now on, you still have me, and you're fine." "Sorry, boss." "No, Minhee, He had just confessed his feelings to her, and now he had to be apart for a while. Do you blame me?" Suddenly, tears fell gently from Minhee's eyes. "Earlier on the way here, I still thought I was dreaming, unable to believe it. But now, I can finally cry in front of you. I feel so happy. I even secretly cried behind your back." At this moment, all those things became sweet memories. Xoang sighed deeply, wondering how he was so lucky to have 3 beautiful and talented girls loving him like this. "I will do everything to make you all happy." "I know, I'm sure you can do it." Suddenly, Minhee fell silent for a moment and then expressed her feelings. "If I say I want to kiss you right now, would that be too selfish?" Without answering, Xoang leaned down and kissed Minhee. The two of them kissed passionately for a long time. Minhee and Xoang kissed for a long time in front of the door before finally letting go. She shyly asked, "How can you kiss for so long?" It's just that I'd practiced with the 2 girls, Jiang, so I got used to it." Minhee laughed at Xoang's innocent answer. "All right, you should hurry and go. Sojong and I will wait for you to bring Taejeong back." Taejeong smiled and went back. Xoang nodded. "Okay, I will do my best." Then Xoang drove Minhee back home. It was the responsibility of a man, especially since Minhee's leg was hurting. So he opened the door and helped her out of the car. "I'm much better now, you should go home." Minhee limped. Xoang shook his head in disagreement and then picked her up in his arms. Minhee was surprised. "What are you doing? People will see." "It's fine, let me take you upstairs." Minhee said nothing more and willingly rested her head on him. Xoang gently carried Minhee inside the house. Upon entering, they encountered her parents sitting in the living room. Seeing their daughter limping, Minhee's mother hurriedly asked, "What happened, dear?" "I'm fine, I just tripped because I was running too fast and scraped myself a little, Mom." Xoang scratched his head and politely greeted the chairman's wife. Hearing his greeting, Minhee chuckled, "You should take me to my room first." Hearing this, Xoang said, "May I take Minhee to her room?" Go ahead. What's with this girl always in such a hurry?" Minhee's mother watched as Xoang helped her daughter upstairs and was filled with thoughts. Returning to her husband's side, she immediately asked, "You were so worried about our daughter before. Why does your expression look like this now?" A father always feels that his obedient and gentle daughter deserves the best things in life. Although I know how our daughter thinks, have you seen the smile on her face? She has found what she considers the best. Although it's very different from what we think, this life is hers, and she must take responsibility for it. As parents, we just need to be a good support for our children. Okay, Xoang is a good boy. I just don't understand how much merit he must have accumulated in his past life to be so lucky. Minhee's mother, upon hearing this, angrily turned the car around. "What's wrong with you? You're old and still jealous of a young man. Are you very envious?" "Not at all. How could I?" Scene transitions to the room. Xoang gently helps Minhee sit down on the bed. "I'm fine now, you can go home. Be careful not to get your feet wet. It will sting." "I know, stop being so slow." Hearing that, Xoang turns to leave. "Okay, I'm going. Go home early." As he reaches the door, Xoang suddenly stops. "Why did you stop?" "I was thinking. Should we kiss before we go?" Upon hearing this, Minhee rushes over and kisses Xoang. After a few minutes, they finally let go of each other. "How do you feel?" "It feels like I've become much more skilled, like I've been enlightened." Minhee shyly blushes and pinches Xoang's side. "You silly, just go away." Xoang quickly runs off. I will definitely make you happy with everything I have. As soon as he goes downstairs, Xoang encounters Minhee's parents. Uncle, Auntie, I'm leaving now. How's Taejeon, Xoang? How did you know about this? When Minhee returned from the hospital, we investigated the source of the video online and told you too. It's a bit hard to believe, but if the two sisters decided to do this, they must have been very determined. When Zhang came here to visit Minhee, they often mentioned you. Although you seem a bit silly in their eyes, you only care about them. That's because I always support them. That's why they can confidently move forward. At this moment, Minhee's father clears his throat. Xoang. Yes, Chairman, I understand. You are indeed a good young man. I care very much for my daughter and feel very sorry for her. So you must make them happy, okay? Yes, definitely. Go now, the company has just merged. Remember to come back early, you lucky boy. Yes, I take my leave now. Scene transitions to the airport the next day. Everyone comes to see Xoang and Taejeon off on the plane. You all go back. I will definitely bring Taejeon and her smile back. After waiting for the two to board, Sojeon hugs Minhee and Xoang. Tears stream down her face. Minhee asks, "What's wrong?" "Nothing. I just suddenly feel like it's strange without them here. I really can't get used to it, so I ended up crying." Sister Xoang unexpectedly slapped Zhang on the backside. "What are you doing, cousin? Everyone's looking, you idiot. I've planned everything for that wooden-headed boy already." "Just relax, really? What is it?" Sister Xoang didn't answer but just smiled. "Let's go, I'll take you shopping. Shopping will solve all your sorrows. If it doesn't work the first time, it will after 2 or 3 times." Hearing that, Zhang smiled broadly, as if there had never been a separation. Scene transition to the airplane cabin. Xoang handed a blindfold to Zhang, but she just looked and didn't take it. "Don't you wear it every time we fly?" "I want to. I just want to open my eyes and see you right away." Saying that, she leaned on his shoulder and closed her eyes. Scene transition to that night. Xoang sat across from his father-in-law to talk. The father-in-law was sitting and smoking a cigarette, looking melancholic. "I never expected that after so many years, Jiang Yan would still linger like a ghost. Uncle, at this age, I still can't understand how a person can be so despicable. Is it because you old folks are out of touch and don't know the trends of the youth nowadays?" "It's not a matter of age, uncle. It's not just you who doesn't understand. I also can't understand. Sojeon can't understand either, and Taejeon certainly can't understand. That's why she was hurt like that. So what do you plan to do now?" Xoang turned to the direction where Taejeon was sitting in her mother's arms. "No matter what, you have to let Taejeon know that there are many people around who love her and want her to be happy and content, to overcome every challenge." Hearing that, the corner of Zhang's father's eyes turned slightly red. Old man here is getting on in years, so just a little smoke in the eye makes it like this. Changing the subject, he called out loudly, "Wife, prepare dinner." After dinner, Xoang and Zhang went into the resting room. "What did you and Dad talk about? He seems very happy today. Secrets between men should not be disclosed. So what are you really planning?" With the power of the Zhangyan family, even the police and the law can't intervene. Zhang hugged Xoang tightly. "I don't want anything to happen to you. I really just need everyone, that's enough for me. At most, I won't go out anymore. You silly girl, I also want to keep this wonderful wife at home, not letting anyone else see. You all belong to me. No one can touch you, no one can peek. Then I won't go out. I'll support you, okay. But I know you won't be happy like that. If heaven has brought you to me, then my life's goal is to make you happy, forever happy." Suddenly, Zhang kissed Xoang. "I feel it now. I suddenly want to be even happier." After saying that, she kissed Xoang passionately again. Whatever was meant to happen, happened. Scene transition to the next day. Xoang took a business card and went to Zhongwon Corporation. Based on the address on the business card, he finally found the place he needed to go. Upon entering, Xuaxiang saw a green-haired waitress. "Excuse me, do you know where Zhongwan Corporation is?" "What do you need Zhongwan Corporation for?" "I'm looking for someone." The green-haired girl pushed her glasses down to see better. "Are you Zhong's boyfriend?" Xuaxiang was surprised and asked her who she was and how she knew him. "I'm her classmate. I've watched your Top and Survival live stream." "Oh, that's great. Do you know where Zhongwan Corporation is?" "The address I have seems incorrect." "You asked the right person. Zhongwan Corporation is right here." "What do you mean? Why don't I see a sign here?" "It closed years ago. The whole building was sealed off and auctioned." Xuaxiang exclaimed. "What? What about Zhang Yan? What are you looking for her for?" "Her father went bankrupt. I don't have any news about her." "No way. Isn't she still flaunting her wealth in videos?" "I'm not very close to her, so I don't know." Suddenly, the green-haired girl bowed her head. "Is Jiang okay? Do you know where Zhang Yan is? After her family went bankrupt, I lost contact with her. She must have gone abroad." "No, she's still in the country. Here, look at this." Xuaxiang showed the phone to the green-haired girl. "Oh, I know this Starbucks. It's in another area. I used to work near there for a while. Wait for me a moment." The green-haired girl looked around and then whispered, "You're looking for her because of Jiang, right?" Seeing Xuaxiang's confused face, she continued, "Isn't she the one who uploaded that clip? Women's intuition is really scary. That area is hard to find. Let me lead you." After that, the green-haired girl took Xuaxiang outside. "Thank you very much." "No need to thank me, because I've also done something wrong to Zhang. After that incident, I thought she was gone. It's great that she's still alive." "Are you the girl with the small eyes?" The green-haired girl didn't answer but quickly turned away. When they reached the house, the two stopped. "This is the place. I saw her in the video here." "Thank you. I'm still on duty, so you can continue with your work. I can find it myself." "More people means more strength. I'll search with you. It's just work, it's nothing. If I can help Jiang, I'll definitely help. I don't expect Jiang to forgive me. I just want to make myself feel a little better." "Then thank you." After that, the two took turns searching for Zhang Yan, asking around people nearby, but with no results. Suddenly, Xuaxiang received a phone call. "I found it." Xuaxiang immediately ran to the small-eyed girl. "I found it. I met a colleague of hers. They said she's working at a company called Happy Family on the 10th floor. The receptionist here is okay. Let's go up and check." Soon, the two had gone up to the 10th floor. Comparing the images on the phone with the real person, Xuaxiang exclaimed, "Zhang Yan? It's her." At this moment, when Zhang Yan saw Xuaxiang in glasses, she lowered her head. "You've got the wrong person." But glasses, even in death, would never forget Zhang Yan's face. He stepped forward and confirmed, "You are Zhang Yan." Knowing she couldn't hide, her attitude changed. "What are you here for? Someone in your family about to croak. Why are you still as cruel as ever? Even your family's bankruptcy hasn't made you more human." Struck by the pain of her family's bankruptcy, Zhang Yan slammed the table. "How dare you talk to me like that?" "Yes." At that moment, the director walked by and shouted, "What's all this noise at the reception? How are you talking to customers like that?" Seeing the director, Zhang Yan ran over and bowed her head. "Sorry, director, they're not here to discuss business." "Oh, then kick them out. They're blocking the entrance. Have you forgotten your training?" "Yes, I'll get rid of them right away." Then Zhang Yan turned back and raised her voice at glasses. "Why are you hanging out with that guy from the twin sisters? Did they enlighten you so much that now you want to join their group?" Glasses angrily replied, "Zhang Yan, shut up. You're still so nasty even now." At this point, Xuaxiang also spoke up. "My cousin was right. You can't change a dog's habit of eating crap." "Oh, the man of the Zhang sisters. Shouldn't you be at home serving them right now? What are you doing here? Want to see how miserable I am and mock me? People as vicious as you always have dark thoughts. If it weren't for Zhang, I wouldn't even care whether you live or die, whether you're broke or rich. Either way, it's still better than those twisted sisters sharing one man." "What? Does it feel good to be wrapped up by those two despicable women? So brainwashed that you've come here to take revenge for them. Glasses, unable to contain himself, ran forward and cursed. Damn you, Zhang Yan, you really are the kind of person who never changes. Zhang Yan pulled out her phone to record the two. Glasses, you've grown bold, haven't you? Now that I'm not as powerful as before, you plan to hit me. It's the 4.0 era now. Do you believe I can make you drown in public backlash? Or do you also like the guy of those two women and want to join, just like before? Suddenly, Glasses slapped his own face and said, I've always regretted not standing up as a witness back then. If I had, Jiang wouldn't have suffered so much. Cut it out. Just a few teasing words and I was falsely accused of schoolbullying. I'm the real victim here. Everyone jokes around with classmates. She just overreacted because she's crazy. You're beyond help. At this moment, Xoang stepped in. I'll give you one chance. Delete the video and record a new one explaining everything clearly. Then, apologize directly to Jiang for everything. Suddenly, Zhang Yan laughed like a madwoman. Haha, apologize? That bitch Yijian pretended to die, made the whole class ostracize me, and I couldn't even transfer schools. She ruined my life, and I haven't even asked her to apologize. And you dare come here criticizing me first? Xoang couldn't hold back and slapped Zhang Yan across the face. For a moment, Glasses looked surprised. I knew from the beginning that reasoning with you was pointless, but out of respect for Jiang's feelings, I wanted to give you a chance. Now, I'll have to handle this differently. Zhang Yan laughed maniacally again. Haha, great, great. You get me first. Just that one video will earn me hundreds of thousands of followers. I was running out of ideas, but you conveniently delivered one right to my door. As she kept recording Xoang, he didn't hesitate and slapped her again. But instead of crying, she laughed even harder. Haha, you're just like that crazy father of yours, daring to hit me. I'm calling the police right now to have you locked up just like your dad. The scene shifted to Taejiang, who was meticulously cleaning the house. Suddenly, her mother walked over and offered to do the cleaning for her. No, Mom, I haven't been home in a while. You should rest, let me do it. Besides, I feel uneasy with Xoang out there. If I don't keep myself busy, I'll just worry. Her mother replied, Xoang is a good boy. I'm happy for you. If one day your father and I are no longer around, we'll feel at peace knowing you have him. Mom, what are you saying? You haven't even held your grandchild yet. Don't say such things. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Taejiang thought it was Xoang coming back, so she excitedly ran to the door, but the person outside was Glasses, panting heavily. Jiang, it's me, Glasses. Hurry, come with me, something's happened to Xoang. Hearing this, Jiang quickly turned to her mother, telling her not to worry and not to let her father know to avoid him getting anxious. Then Jiang hurriedly ran off. The squinty-eyed man bowed to Jiang's mother and apologized, I'll stay close to Jiang, and quickly ran after her. Jiang's mother suddenly burst into tears. Jiang, how long has it been since I last heard that name? In the car, Jiang worriedly asked the squinty-eyed man, what happened to Xoang? Is he injured or something? Don't worry, he's not hurt. He's just been taken to the police station. This reminded Jiang of her father, of how things used to be, and how they turned out this way. Suddenly, the squinty-eyed man called Jiang. How many years has it been? Though I don't expect your forgiveness, I sincerely apologize for what I did back then, for being a weak person. Taejiang immediately started crying. It's okay. This made the squinty-eyed man cry too, relieved to have finally let go of the guilt that had weighed on him for so long. The two quickly arrived at the police station. As soon as they entered, Jiang heard Zhang Yan shouting, Officer, he broke in illegally. Please lock him up. Look at him, he even hit a woman like me, causing me to bleed. He's a gangster, a scumbag. Hearing this made Jiang shake with anger. But luckily, the squinty-eyed man comforted her, calm down. Inside, Zhang Yan kept reporting to the police, Officer, this man sleeps with two women who are sisters at the same time. It's immoral. I've had grudges with those two sisters before, so they sent him to beat me up. Arrest him, put him in jail. Please calm down, we need to take his statement first, and then we'll ask for more details. Don't believe a word he says. A man who hits women is not trustworthy. I have evidence on my phone. At that moment, Zhang Zhang pushed open the door and entered. Seeing her, Zhang Yan immediately pointed at her. Officer, she's one of the two sisters. The two officers looked at each other and whispered, Hey, doesn't she look familiar? Keep your voice down, she's been trending on the internet lately. Seeing this, Xoang said, Officers, do you like gossiping about these things too? Are you afraid that the story of two wives sharing one husband will be exposed? We don't interfere in moral issues, but hitting someone is against the law. How rotten does a woman have to be for a man to hit her like that? Besides, because you officers didn't investigate the root cause properly, law-abiding people end up facing injustice. You get someone and still act so arrogant. Do you want to reconcile? Reconcile? 10 years ago, she bullied my girlfriend in school. You officers knew the whole story, but you kept saying the law couldn't do anything about it. On top of that, you arrested her father, which caused a kind, gentle girl to become depressed and afraid to leave the house. Are law enforcers like you protecting the bad guys or the victims? Since you failed to protect her, I will. Jiang, overwhelmed with emotion, began to cry. Because I'm her man, I'll protect her for the rest of my life. As long as she isn't hurt anymore, I'm willing to go to jail. Zhang Yan slammed the table and shouted loudly in the police station. How dare you act so arrogant? Don't listen to his nonsense. The officer, not knowing who was right or wrong, hesitated while both sides argued for a long time. Jiang couldn't stand it anymore and shouted, Enough, startling everyone in the room. She walked over to Xoang. Silly pig, thank you. I'm not afraid anymore. I mean it. Zhang Yan, I used to hate you so much. I couldn't understand how you could be so evil. But now I realize that you're actually pitiful. Zhang Yan's face twisted with shock as she slammed the table and stood up, shouting, What did you say? Who's pitiful here? Even though I think you're pitiful, I don't sympathize with you at all. Suddenly, Jian called out, Officer. Her commanding tone startled the two officers, who immediately stood up and shouted clearly. While the officers were confused as to why they were reacting like that, Jiang had already moved behind them. We won't reconcile today. Jian walked up and gave Zhang Yan a hard slap, shocking everyone in the room. Zhang Yan growled, You dare hit me? You scum. Seeing this, the two officers rushed to restrain Zhang Yan. Stop. If you hit her back, it'll turn into a fight, and you'll be punished. Taking advantage of the moment, Jian slapped her again. Zhang Yan, now furious, couldn't retaliate. Officer, she hit me. Arrest her, arrest her. But Jian just chuckled softly. At this point, Jian spoke. So Zhang Yan, you can cry too. The officer finally lost his temper. How dare you hit someone right here? Do you have no regard for the law? Lock them all up. And so, both of them were placed in the same holding cell. The two were being so affectionate that the other cells were filled with jealousy. Lying in Xoang's arms, Zhang whispered, Thank you, silly pig. It feels so good to have you by my side. You should thank your cousin instead. Oh, so all of this was her idea? If it were just me, the most I could have done was beat her up for you. I'm too impulsive. Before we left, your cousin gave me some advice. Xoang started to recall the previous day. That day, while Zhang was asleep, he was watching her, admiring her beauty, when suddenly her cousin opened the door and called him outside. It's late. Why aren't you asleep yet? You're going to get wrinkles, you know. I just wanted to give you some tips. I'm going to bed now. Wait a minute, I'll come right away. You're only tough with me, huh? Sorry about that. It's all your fault. No one can ever guess what you're thinking, which makes me afraid of you. Don't worry, I'll cure this problem for you. Then hurry up and tell me. Suddenly, her cousin grabbed his hand and pulled him outside. Let's talk outside. Passing by the room where Sojiang and Minhee were sleeping in each other's arms, he stopped, staring at the two lovers for a moment. Suddenly, her cousin poked him in the eye. What are you staring at for so long? You're such a fool. In no time, the two of them were outside in the living room. All right, let's get to the point. All this thinking about Taejeong is exhausting. Give me a moment to rest, and then I'll explain everything. Xoang scratched his head for a while before he understood Xoang's point. He immediately sat down to massage her feet. Is this good enough? Now tell me. You're such an idiot. You don't know how good you've got it. So many men would die just to touch my precious feet, but you act so unwilling. You're the one who forced me to do it. Now, stop going around in circles and just tell me. If you find Zhang Yan, what do you plan to do? Well, Xoang was thinking and forgot about the massage, prompting Xoang to exclaim, "Don't stop. I'm feeling comfortable. If you find Zhang Yan, you'll do whatever it takes to make her sincerely apologize to Taejeong." "I'm sorry, but people like that are very hard to change," she continued. "From what I understand, those who enjoy bullying others are not just self-centered. They think they're the center of the universe. If you want her to sincerely apologize, it might be even harder than reaching the sky." Hearing this, Xoang, frustrated, squeezed her hand too tightly, making Xoang cry out in pain. "Sorry, I didn't mean to," he continued. "You didn't say to stop," she replied, offering him her other foot to massage. "If there's no way to make her sincerely apologize, maybe I'll just have to beat her up to vent for Taejeong and show her I'm here to protect her." "But will that solve the current problem? Are you planning to keep her locked up for life? The moment she steps outside, people will look at her with mocking and judgmental eyes. Who knows, another video might emerge showing her inciting men to attack others, making things worse. So what should I do?" Unconsciously, Xoang squeezed her hand again, causing Xoang to retract her foot. "Do you see how important I am now? And isn't it special to have a wise advisor like me? I suddenly feel lucky to have you here. But hurry up and speak. I'm losing my patience." Throughout history, people who faced dire circumstances without feeling afraid had one common trait. They were unafraid. "Why not? Why not?" Xoang said, pinching his cheek. "You're clever for realizing this, huh? I just said it casually. Is it really that simple? Saying it simply is simple, and saying it difficult is also very difficult. How can you make someone who's afraid of snakes no longer fear them?" Xoang stared blankly, unsure how to respond, realizing then the value of his cousin. She beckoned him closer, leaned in, and whispered something in his ear. After hearing her, he hugged her, saying, "It's all thanks to you. I've said enough. I'll go now." "I need to rest," she said, dismissing him. Xoang hurried back to his room, leaving her a bit solemn. Back in the detention room, he pondered, "So that's why you acted that way?" His cousin had said that only when someone important to him was in danger would he muster the courage to overcome his fears, and the knot would naturally untie. At first, when he found Zhang Yan, he hoped to reason with her, but he never expected. What didn't you expect? The world may change, but people's natures don't. Jiang smiled, covering her mouth, and replied, "What if I'm not really that important to you? Honestly, when you rushed in, I was a bit worried. But when I saw you angry, slapping Zhang Yan, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. How annoying. The thing I hate most is violence." Jiang puffed her cheeks. "If this incident brings out some strange feelings in me, then you'll have to take responsibility. I wish I could." Xoang kissed Taejeong's hand. This unexpected action made both of them blush. "You want me in a place like this? Isn't that a bit weird?" "I want to, but..." Xoang raised his head to look around. "A kiss should be okay, right?" He pulled Jiang close, just about to kiss her when someone shouted, "Hey, this is a detention room. Be careful." Instantly, they pulled away, embarrassed. Time passed slowly, making Xoang yawn. "Are you sleepy? Then lie down here and rest a bit." He laid his head comfortably on Taejeong's lap. "It feels like it's been ages since I last rested on your lap." It made him feel flustered for a long time. "I feel the same. Ever since I saw you sleeping on my lap that time, I haven't been able to forget it. If you've untied the knot in your heart, then return to your old self." Jiang paused before smiling and replying, "Yes, I want Taejeong to be Taejeong, Sojeong to be Sojeong, and Minhee to be Minhee. From now on, our memories will be our own. Hearing this, Taejeon smiled contentedly. Sometimes I feel scared. If I'm too lucky, will I be punished by heaven? She placed her hand on his forehead, comforting him. If you're punished, I'll share the punishment with you. Suddenly, she gave him a kiss. The scene shifted to a police station office where Taejeon's parents were present. Clearly, that Zhang Yan harmed our daughter first. No matter how good-tempered someone is, they can't help but hit her. She brought this upon herself. Why are you detaining my daughter and her boyfriend? If you use violence to harm others, you must naturally face the corresponding punishment. She'll be held for 15 days. In such a situation, why not seek legal justice? Do you think we haven't tried? If we did solve it, would things have reached this point? Then let me ask you, how should we handle a situation like this? The police officer hesitated. This matter needs a process. The legal experts are discussing it. We are merely enforcing the law. Seeing his wife getting agitated, the father pulled her back. Can we meet with the kids? The officer said yes, and soon another officer led Zhang and Xoang to the visiting room where their parents were waiting. Upon entering, Zhang forced a smile. Why did everyone come here? Her father rushed over and took her hand. Of course, it's because we miss you both. Are you okay? Did they mistreat you? No, Mom, we're fine. Seeing Zhang smile, her father felt somewhat relieved. What are you standing there for? Sit down and talk. Both Xoang and Zhang sat down, holding hands. Xoang, how did this happen? He stammered, I'm sorry, Auntie. Xoang, don't mind what my wife says. Sometimes women care too much. The father gave Xoang a thumbs up. Good job. What are you talking about? This kid has done something that we haven't been able to accomplish in over 10 years. Hearing that, Zhang's mother was startled and asked what was wrong, but when she saw the smile on Zhang's face, she realized and began to cry in surprise. Mom, what's wrong? Why are you suddenly crying? I'm fine now. Yes, Mom, I'm really not scared at all. Xoang, how did you do that? I don't have that ability. It's all thanks to my cousin. That's right, Xoang's cousin is amazing. She's an international student who cares for both me and Sojeon. Suddenly, Dad covered his mouth and coughed, realizing he was coughing up blood, but he calmly forced a smile. They're all good kids. Is Dad's cough getting worse? Just a little cough, nothing serious. You two rest here and recover. After we go out, Mom will cook something delicious for you too. Transitioning to 2 days later in Zhang Yan's office. How dare you hit me? You've got guts. This time, I'll make you regret it to death. Dan Yajian and your disgusting man. Zhang Yan quickly typed, writing a post about the incident involving the two sisters. It's a complete mess. Inciting a boyfriend to hit someone and ending up in jail? Haha, just wait and see. After posting, 2 colleagues entered. She stood up and waved good morning, but they looked at her with strange eyes and left. Confused, she wondered what was happening when the manager stormed in. Hello, boss. The manager glared at Zhang Yan with hostility before turning away. What's wrong today? Is that woman in a bad mood again? I've been flattering her every day. Why is she still mad? Zhang Yan sat down, scrolling to see how her post was doing. When she checked, she found it had over 1 million likes and nearly 100,000 comments. Wow, it's trending again. These nosy people couldn't even wait to like it before commenting. Haha, if I keep making videos like this, my followers could reach millions. I could change my life. Zhang Yan clicked on comments to see what people were saying. I'm here to watch this cruel woman get her comeuppance. She's the receptionist at my company. I can't believe she's this type of person. Horrible, this disgusting woman. People, let's roast her. The comments were filled with people cursing her, making Zhang Yan unable to believe her eyes. At this moment, the truth about the 2 identical twins pretending to be one person, suffering bullying for 10 years, was trending online. Hello everyone, I'm a classmate of Yajiang and Zhang Yan, and I'm a witness to Zhang Yan bullying Zhang. I used to avoid Zhang Yan's friends because I was scared, leaving Zhang isolated for a long time. I feel terrible about it now and mustered the courage to expose the truth. In the comments, people were calling Zhang Yan an animal. Enraged, Zhang Yan slammed the table and yelled, "You four-eyed bastard, you dare to mess with me." People looked at her as if she were crazy. "I'm sorry, that was rude." It seemed that everyone now recognized who she was. Suddenly, there was an announcement for Zhang Yan to go to the director's office. Yes, and as for Xoang and Taejiang, they were at the police station. The two were comforting each other when they heard someone call for mealtime. A police officer brought food for them. Why is there bubble tea too? Xoang and Yajiang, right? If you don't want anything to eat, just tell me. I'll bring something for you. Don't starve. The officer's friendliness surprised Xoang. What's going on? Are we about to be executed or something? Why are you thinking so wildly? In a few days, you two will be released. I'll bring blankets for you, so you don't catch a cold, you young man. Xoang was surprised, not knowing what was happening. I have to go for a bit. Leaving that cryptic comment, the officer left. Xoang held his head in confusion. What on earth is happening? Forget it, let's eat first. Being overly sentimental isn't my style, Xoang said, as Taejiang fed him a piece of bell pepper. I feel like something's missing. You think it's normal? Suddenly, she stood on tiptoe and kissed Xoang, sharing a bit of enzyme to enhance the flavor. As for Zhang Yan, she was home by 2 p.m. Zhang Yan, you're back? It's still not time to leave work. I got fired. My salary was only 5 grand, and I always had to watch my back. It was too annoying. Dad was dumbfounded by her demeanor. Zhang Yan, what's wrong with you? What did I do? It's all because of useless people like you ruining my life, betraying my stepmother, and that sleazy lawyer mistress. You've driven the company to bankruptcy. You'd better rebuild the company right now. I don't want to work these silly jobs anymore. Did you hear me clearly? Don't pressure Dad anymore. He's under punishment now, burdened with debts he can't repay in a lifetime. If you want to rebuild, you have to wait for the right moment. You can't rush it. Useless, you really are useless. Upon hearing this, Dad collapsed onto the ground. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Who is it? No one is home. Shouting at me? I still have elderly people and kids here. If you want to argue, go argue somewhere else. My house is loud all the time. If you disturb me again, I'll break your house. Zhang Yan saw the neighbors getting angry and became timid. Dad struggled to get up, apologizing to Zhang Yan. I'm sorry, dear, I was wrong. Give me your phone. What phone? That lawyer mistress you've been seeing. The company went bankrupt and she disappeared. I haven't heard from her in a long time. Give me the phone. Dad pulled out his phone and Zhang Yan snatched it away, cursing him. You're useless. All of this is your fault. Zhang Yan dialed the lawyer's phone number. Hello, CEO Trons, it's been years since we last contacted. What can I do for you? I didn't know you just got divorced. Are you looking to rekindle old flames? Shut up, I'm not interested in your divorce. Who are you, the new lover of CEO Trons? Has he gotten back on his feet? What nonsense, I'm his daughter. Oh, so it's Zhang Yan, it's been a long time, and your temper hasn't changed at all. After all, I was almost your mother, so I sincerely advise you that if you keep acting this way, you won't have any friends left. If I have no friends, what does that have to do with you? So why are you looking for me? Someone has violated my personal rights, and I want to sue them. I want them to be sentenced to prison and also to compensate me. Oh, you're talking about that famous video from the past few days. What's up? How much are you willing to pay? My legal fees for this case are very high, you know? Don't try to trick me into ruining my father's company. Your reputation will soon be gone as well. Who would dare hire you again? You'll only be able to be a mistress everywhere. Right now, I'm the only one who can give you money. I'm so disgusted that you're still the same. You think you're still a young lady of a wealthy family? Now, you're nothing but a filthy sewer rat on the street. I don't know how your father raised you. What did you say? You're just a loose woman, someone who can't see beyond money. I'm giving you a chance. The other end immediately hung up. Damn it, she dared to hang up on me. Zhang Yan called back again. The number you dialed is currently unavailable. She dropped her phone, intending to throw it down. Don't smash it, I can't afford a new phone. How annoying, she dared to insult me. I will not let this go easily. Ya Jiang, and also that freeloading man you're supporting. Jiang Yan, stop causing trouble. Please, I'm begging you. Let's just live a normal life. Okay. Damn it, I always have to lower myself to please those old folks. In the past, my allowance was more than a month's salary. She dared to fire me. Now the whole world knows about me. How can I find a job again? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? It's all their fault. Her father was helpless against this child who always blamed others. 2 days later, Zhang watched Xuanxing sleeping soundly. She sat up and stretched when suddenly there was a call. Xuanxing, Ya Jiang, come out here. Someone is waiting outside. Xuanxing sat up and shouted, Brother, you've been awake for a long time, haven't you? Yes, but why didn't you open your eyes, you annoying person? I was waiting for you to finish your kiss. Jiang blushed. What's going on? You two can go outside. After all, this is a detention center, so please mind your image a little. Yes, we're all supporting you too. Good luck. Then the police took the two out to the waiting room. Jiang's parents and the bespectacled one were waiting outside. Daughter, did you suffer any injustice in there? Did they mistreat you? Mom, what are you thinking? The first 2 days were fine. Suddenly they cared a lot for the two of you, feeding you well. I thought it was because Mom asked them to. Look, Mom, I've gained weight. All right, dear, let the kids reunite for a moment. We'll go prepare some delicious food. Okay, this girl has always been waiting for you. Jiang ran to hold the hand of the bespectacled one. Thank you, you big-eyed person. She also hugged Jiang. Sorry, Jiang, are you okay now? I'm so glad I made you worry. The two friends hugged for a while. After some time, the two were released. The bespectacled one drove the two of them back. Jiang, it's a mess now. Netizens are all criticizing her. I heard she even lost her job. Serves her right. What happened? It's that video that her boyfriend said he sent to your sister. After they edited it, the video spread all over the internet. Turned the tables, right? Right. How did I forget this? No wonder the warden's attitude towards us changed completely a few days ago. Let me see, wow, this article is really professional. Of course, you're not the only one behind me. There's also Manhwa and her cousin helping out. They're not idle at all. Xuanxing began to recount what happened a few days ago, provoking Jiang Yan and forcing her to apologize. It was my sister's idea. They waited for everything to happen so that there would be video evidence. Only then could they expose all her shameless actions. What if she really apologizes? The nature of a person is hard to change. They all heard what Jiang Yan said. See, it's my turn now. Minhee moved to the editing desk to edit the video. After more than half a day of work, everything was done. Come here and see what I've finished. Your video editing skills are no different from a stupid pig, right? Of course. I attended all the project meetings. Tomorrow morning is the peak traffic time, so I'll spread this video outside. I hope Taejian can get through this. I kind of miss them. You silly girl, this time you should let him handle it. He dares? You'll handle him, right? Yes, I'll handle him. Let me show you how to handle him nicely. Ah, get off, little sister, so you've turned naughty like this. Sister is an angel, of course, you're the little demon. Hurry up and go to bed. This is a secret technique. The troubles haven't been solved yet, and you're still in the mood to think about these things. Aren't you worried? Yeah, with our golden couple taking action, I'm not worried at all. I've never been this confident. The next day, they uploaded the video online. Sojiang was bragging yesterday, but was a bit worried today. What are you worried about? With our cousin strategist here, there will definitely be no mistakes. Look, as soon as it was uploaded, it had over 100,000 views. Views are skyrocketing. Success. Success. I'm too confident to even be happy anymore. It's all thanks to our cousin. I knew you guys would be like this, so it's not surprising at all. Then let's enjoy this moment, cousin. Back in the present, Taejian leaned her head on Xuanxing's shoulder. That's good. At this moment, I felt happiness I've never had before. Suddenly, the bespectacled one looked in the rearview mirror and shouted, "Zhang Yan? Zhang Yan?" At that moment, a white car crashed into the back of the three's car. "Ya Jiang, go to hell. You've harmed me over and over again." She stepped on the gas hard, slamming into Zhang's car. Shuangsheng quickly hugged her to protect her. When the two cars stopped, Zhang Yan rushed out with a knife, heading straight for Tejian. "I've lost everything. Don't expect to live in peace and happiness. If I die, I'll drag you down with me." With that, Zhang Yan stabbed Shuangsheng in the shoulder, creating a hole as she held the knife tightly. "Kick her out." Tijiang immediately complied, kicking Zhang Yan in the face, causing her to fall to the ground. Shuangsheng quickly rushed out to handcuff her. "Ah, I'm bleeding too much. Don't worry, quickly call the police to let me go. I have to kill her." Zhang Yan went into a frenzy, shouting wildly. People around took out their phones to film. "Ah, isn't this the girl bullying her friends that's trending on social media? That's right. Look, isn't that the sister she bullied? Hello, police, isn't it? Someone here is using a knife to assassinate someone quickly." Meanwhile, Zhang Yan was taken away by two policemen. The cousin was absolutely right. What? The cousin predicted this? She said that a person with such a personality flaw, once embarrassed and criticized, might take extreme measures. If this really happens, it's better to resolve it decisively. Otherwise, she'll be like a ticking time bomb, capable of harming us at any moment. So we need to give her a chance to act. Sorry, little-eyed one. I wanted to lure her out, which is why your car got hit. We'll compensate you, it's fine. Doing this could save Zhang from further harm, so it's worth it. The cousin is amazing. She must feel so lonely like that. With her thick skin, she likes to command others. How can she be lonely? That's why the silly pig is so happy. At this moment, Zhang Yan kept turning her head and cursing. Tijian, she's really pitiful. Perhaps her becoming this way has a lot to do with her parents. Such a complex situation, I can't understand. I'm doing my best just to protect you. Zhang blushed and hugged him. The two kissed for a long time, suddenly realizing that there were still people around. When they turned back, they were applauding in support. Amazing! I want a boyfriend like that. May I ask how you found such a person? I'm really happy. Share some of your luck with us. The two were shy and quickly ran back into the car. Little-eyed one, let's go. Little-eyed one stepped on the gas and drove off. Tijiang leaned on his shoulder. Is it over now? Why is it over? Now our happy life is just beginning. Right, I want to return quickly to see everyone. After resolving everything, the two returned to the airport. As soon as they got off, they saw Sojiang and Minhee waiting for them. Tijiang joyfully ran to hug them. Where's cousin? She said she had an appointment with a patient, so she couldn't come. Tonight, we'll treat her to a lavish meal. Let's go shopping. How can that be? We just got off the plane. We need to rest a bit. Ha, don't even think about going back. You have to help carry our things. Come on. Shuangsheng helplessly dragged the suitcase, chasing after her. The video stops here for now. See you all in the next part.